Henry Baudet, come please to the control tower.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Le Mans and the 2026 Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy. Now, as you can tell by the skies above us, last night the rain arrived, and I have to say, Eric Tellis, that it has cleared the air because we've got a very busy day. Everyone is going to finish their heats. Some drivers have got 4 heats today, others only 1. But even though it's a nice summer's day, it's a pleasant summer's day, and we've got some amazing racing coming up.
Oui, effectivement. Bonjour Henry, bonjour à toutes et à tous. Effectivement, deuxième journée ici du RMCIT au Mans. Comme l'a dit Henry, la météo aujourd'hui est un petit peu plus conciliante. Il y a eu de gros orages cette nuit, enfin hier au soir, en début de soirée. Ça a posé aussi des dégâts dans le paddock. Certaines tentes se sont envolées. Il y a eu quelques dégâts. On espère que tout va rentrer dans l'ordre. Mais aujourd'hui, ça va peut-être nous permettre de respirer un petit peu mieux et surtout de permettre aux pilotes de mieux s'exprimer, même si la piste, évidemment, avec les orages, a été la avait, et donc au niveau adhérence, il va falloir retrouver ses repères. I was talking about the stick of the track.
Yes, a lot of the rubber will have been washed off the circuit, so it's going to be a different set of tyre pressures, some different setup changes for all the teams. Now, we're going to be going racing very, very shortly. After we left you yesterday, there was a driver parade and then a party in the paddock. A couple of news items. Ireland won the biggest cheer of the driver parade. They beat the United Kingdom, France, Germany and Denmark, who were the rest of the top contenders in terms of which fan group, which driver group had the biggest cheer. Then, as a cocktail welcome party took place last night, there was a storm. A couple of teams actually had their tents blown over. There were some repairs being made to the fencing this morning. There's one team, a Spanish team from DD2, that had to have their carts put in the organisers' tent because their tent ended up on the main circuit. But they'll all be fixed and we'll be going out ready for their first race, which is a little bit later on. Luckily, we've got the first group of senior heats and then the junior heats coming up.
Voilà, donc le programme de cette matinée, voilà, le micro est revenu. Eh bien, on va commencer par les seniors, hein, la catégorie senior avec les trois groupes et puis ensuite les juniors, donc ce qui permettra aux équipes qui ont été un petit peu victimes des orages de ce début de soirée d'hier, eh bien de pouvoir se préparer correctement, ou en tout cas, on l'espère, le moins péniblement possible. Voilà. I guess we have a pit reporter close from us, no?
We have a third member of the party. I'll tell you what, well, Eric and I are going to go and get into the commentary box because the carts are down on the grid. Now, the grid is where you would normally find Jen Wade, but she's not on the grid right now. She is. Hello, Jen. Good morning. Okay, Jen, Eric and I are going to go to the commentary box. We've got a lot of racing to go, and it's a nice day. We'll leave you to it.
Thank you so much. Yes, you go there. Exit stage right. Hi everyone and welcome to Le Mans. Of course, it's getting serious. The stand is starting to fill. It's a little bit quiet this morning though. Let's see. Actually, it's quite calm on the grid. I'm going to head down there and talk to a few different drivers or team members, see what we can find out what's happened over the last few days since we had qualifying under lights 2 nights ago. Little bit cooler this morning, which is nice, as the guys said. So make sure you stay watching and follow us on social media. There's lots of great videos from 3MK events with the RMCIT here in Le Mans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon down on the grid. We get ready for the first race.
Voilà, merci à Jane et on va se retrouver évidemment très rapidement dans le vif du sujet puisque comme on vous l'expliquait il y a de cela quelques minutes, eh bien on va rentrer en piste avec la catégorie senior. On aura 3 manches puisque aujourd'hui on aura tout le temps, toute la journée des manches qualificatives où il faudra en vue des super finales et des finales de demain. Donc on commencera par les seniors avec l'opposition du groupe A au groupe E, ensuite du groupe D au groupe F et du groupe C au groupe B. Suivront les juniors A contre D, C contre E. Les DD2 viendront ensuite à 2 reprises. La catégorie mini arrivera ensuite. Les DD2 Master prendront la suite. Et ensuite, la catégorie micro qui nous emmènera jusqu'à la pause déjeuner. Voilà, la première manche eh bien, se prépare. On rappelle que c'est la catégorie senior avec les pilotes du groupe A opposés aux pilotes du groupe E.
So on the rolling lap then for race number 1, Tom Langlois and Arnaud Saborin will lead the field. You can see them warming their tyres, the Sodi kart of Langlois and the Cosmic of Saborin. Then Macaulay Bishop and Ethan Thorne on row number 2. Dragos Avasalakute and Tobias Norman on row number 3. Ruben Morel and Maxime Bouillon. And George Nassar, Sebastian Koch. They round out your top 10. You've got Guiloteo, Bartolome, Southern, Lasue, Kubrick, Hare, Parodi, Mate, Sria Isa, Van Kampenhout, Pemble, Picard Tortelier, Roby, Nave, Testa, Cairus, Foubert, Hoche, Surtees, Madio, Merafina, Lupa, Morigno, Aisa, and Verheyen. They are your full list of 35 starters at 8:45 a.m. Friday morning, Le Mans, France, and day 2 of heat racing at the International Trophy is underway with a great start from Tom Langlois. Oh, a spin, the Gillard spins. Oh dear, broadside in the middle of the track, and that grass is very, very wet. Trying to see who the Gillard was that might have been turned around. We'll have to wait and see, but certainly there's the 308, the 373. Matteo Kubrick, it was Ruben Morel that got turned around. Rayan Cairuz out of the race. Nowhere to go, and 2 drivers out of the race, several more delayed. Langlois leads, Bishop is already on a mission, sliding up the inside of Saborin, runs a little bit wide, coming out of the bank in the turn 10, and Saborin is back in the P2.
Départ mouvementé pour cette première épreuve avec cet accrochage entre 3 pilotes suite au tête à queue d'un des pilotes, et ça a engagé Ryan Cairuz notamment qui semblait être touché au dos. On l'a vu quitter son kart un petit peu en se tenant le haut du dos, voire la nuque. Donc voilà, entre temps, c'est parti sur la piste avec un très bon départ de Tom Langlois qui s'est installé aux commandes avec le pilote canadien Arnaud Sabourin qui est en deuxième position. Voilà, il suffisait de le dire pour qu'il se fasse chipper cette deuxième position par le numéro 368, à savoir Macaulay Bishop. On retrouve les hommes forts qu'on avait hier aux avant-postes, Tom Langlois et Bishop, qui vont devoir maintenant s'expliquer. Mais attention, vous l'avez vu, derrière Sabourin, le peloton est revenu. Comme souvent, on a tout de suite au départ 2-3 pilotes qui arrivent à creuser un petit écart, et ensuite une fois que tout le monde rentre dans son rythme, alors qu'il y a une belle sortie de piste au niveau du virage du Technopark, ensuite le peloton se regroupe. C'est le cas actuellement avec derrière Sabourin Tom Guillotto, Tobias Norman, Blake Sawson, Georges Nassar, Alexandre Parodi et Ethan Thorne pour la 9e position.
Langlois leads Bishop into turn number 3. There's Tobias Norman making a move on the 302 of Nick Theo Guilloteo. And now the 345 cart of Blake Southern. And there is an MKC machine, Alexandra Parodi, the 365, also getting involved. Bishop, well, it was here that Bishop collided with Ruben Moya yesterday that eliminated Bishop from contention, and this time Macaulay Bishop to the inside, sweet as a nut, and Bishop is your new leader. Langlois, Saborin, Tobias Norman hot on his heels. Then you got Blake Southern. Then there is George Nassar, the UAE champion. P6 Ethan Thorne, another real star of this week's show on the Sony kart with HRS Power in number 386. Ethan Thorne running in 7th position, followed by Guilloteo, Bartolome, Koch, Pemble, Parodi, Miles Roby up 10 places for the MLC Motorsport driver. Into 13th, Foubert, Bouillon, Hare, Titouan O'Shea and Ruben Verheyen making moves. They are up from 28th and 35th to 17th and 18th respectively. 5.5 minutes plus a lap to go.
Allez, le format ce matin, on a oublié de vous le préciser, c'est 9 minutes plus un tour. On est à peu près à mi-parcours du temps réglementaire et Macaulay Bishop a pris les commandes. Voilà, de cela un tour. Tom Langlois est derrière en contrôle et le trou est fait entre le duo de tête et leur poursuivant, à savoir Tobias Norman qui tente de ramener tout le peloton sur les deux hommes de tête. Il a derrière lui Blake Thawson, George Nassar, Ethan Thorne et Thomas Guillotto notamment, et Arnaud Sabourin qui a glissé dans la hiérarchie. Il est désormais en 8e position, le pilote canadien.
Tobias Norman makes his way Well, keeps himself ahead of Blake Southern and George Nassar, the two Dan Holland Racing teammates. Southern celebrating his 16th birthday yesterday. Nassar, the former MENA Nations Cup Junior Champion and the current reigning UAE Rotax Max Challenge Senior Champion. The fact that Nassar is running at the head of this one of the best international fields you'll find anywhere in the world outside of the Grand Finals. The fact that Nassar is comfortably running in the top 5 tells you the level of Rotax Max Racing in the UAE. It's very, very high indeed. Nassar proving that he can hang with the big boys, so to speak. Ethan Thorne sitting behind him. There's the move. Nassar to the inside on his teammate. The banking runs a little bit wide. Blake Southern gets him back. Ethan Thorne closes in.
Allez, ça semble se regrouper en haut de la hiérarchie, hormis pour le leader, hein, qui semble McKinley Bishop, qui semble au-dessus du lot ce matin, ou alors c'est lui qui est le mieux réveillé, dirons-nous. En tout cas, Tom Langlois a du mal à suivre, et derrière, eh bien, Tobias Norman, le Norvégien, est en train de petit à petit revenir sur le pilote tricolore. Derrière Norman, eh bien, c'est Blake Southern, Ethan Thorne et George Nassar qui sont roue dans roue et qui se disputent les accessites, dirons-nous, pour cette première manche senior. Je le rappelle, elle oppose les pilotes du groupe A à ceux du groupe E. Et on voit bien que tout le monde donne le maximum, hein, ce matin. On va voir si Tom Langlois va être en mesure de repousser le retour de Tobias Norman. Pour l'instant, ça semble être le cas, mais en tout cas, devant McKinley Bishop ce matin est pour l'instant irrésistible et creuse l'écart.
Now Nassar under pressure through on the inside of the entrance to Pitts Bend goes the 302 of Teo Giloteo. Nassar trying to fight back behind him. Arno Saborin sits there. Oh, a little bit of love going in. Oh, they're trying to go 3 wide coming out of turn number 1. That doesn't work. And they all look nervously over their shoulder because that little delay is allowing 9th place driver, the 314 kart of Mika Bartolome, to close in. Behind Bartolome is Koch, Pemble, Roby. Miles Roby driving a storming race for the MLC Motorsport team. He's gone from 23rd to 12th in his bid to make the superheats. Let's not forget 120 drivers in seniors. At the end of today, only the top 72 in the point standings will go through to the superheats. And from those 72, only 36 will actually make the main final. So a lot of drivers absolutely scrambling to just make it to tomorrow and a superheat. Oh, there's a move from Bartolome. Nassar on the outside holds him off. And the number 414 kart, Sebastian Koch. Is that an RM? No, that's a Jan Darms Racing livery by the looks of it. The 414 is right there.
Allez, ça bagarre, hein. Derrière pour les accessites, on a bien vu le match avec Georges Nasser et Arnaud Sabourin. Arnaud Sabourin d'ailleurs qui a reçu un avertissement, hein, de par la direction de course. Arnaud Sabourin qui est repassé en 7e position. Georges Nasser, le numéro 333, qui a un petit peu de mal là, à résister à la pression qui est exercée sur lui dans le peloton. Pendant ce temps-là, en tête de la course, eh bien, McKinley Bishop, lui, est toujours aux commandes. Tom Langlois est toujours au contact, dirons-nous, pas au contact direct, mais il reste à équidistance de ce qui était existant lors des tours précédents. Et Blake Southern qui a réussi à faire le break, hein, sur le groupe qui l'accompagnait, qui reste solitaire 3e pour l'instant. Tobias Norman qui s'est fait dépasser et Ethan Thorne n'arrive pas à revenir sur le pilote britannique Blake Southern qui pour l'instant, eh bien, se dirige vers une 3e place. Le temps réglementaire est écoulé. On va donc, lorsque les pilotes vont franchir la ligne de chronométrage, eh bien, se diriger vers le dernier tour de cette manche qualificative.
The clock has struck 0. The leaders come out of the grandstand curve. We're following the battle for 3rd place between, this is 4th place now between Norman and Ethan Thorne. as we head on to the final lap. Bishop leads by 7/10 of a second. Norman, the 401 RS competition kart, followed by the 386 Sodi kart for Ethan Thorne, driving for the G kart team, based here in France. But Macaulay Bishop, after not a great day yesterday, needs a strong day today to keep himself in with a fighting chance. This is such a competitive senior Rotax field that one DNF, one mistake, one bad finish could literally scupper your chances. Well, could. Not definitely, but could. Bishop has had that one bad finish, but he makes up for it with a win. Checkered flag out. Macaulay Bishop takes the first win of the day. The Dan Holland Racing team, Tom Langlois, second. Blake Southern, a great drive from Blake from 13th to 3rd. Tobias Norman is 4th. Ethan Thorne, Teo Giloteo, Arno Saborin, Mika Bartolome, Lloyd Hare, Sebastian Koch, your top 10. George Nassar falls back to 11th with Jean-Arthur Foubert, Titouan O'Shea, Miles Roby, and from the last place on the grid, Ruben Verheyen finishes 15th. Maximilian Lupa, Mehdi Lesue, Esteban Picard Totelier, Oli Morino, William Pembo, Alexander Parodi, Daniel Sria Aisa, James Tester, Moxens Bouillon, Elliot Surtees, Charlie Neve, Matteo Kubrick, Vic van Kampenhout, Vico Matej, and Badis Isa completes the top 30. And that was a highly, a nice, enjoyable, calm start to the morning, apart from the obviously unfortunate first corner incident. Now, Timeo Merafina has not gone out. I believe he has withdrawn from the meeting. Ryan Keirus, Ruben Morel, and Dragos Avisalakute fails to finish. That is not great news for Avisalakute and the MKC Motorsport team, but let's have a quick look at the highlights.
second heat of the day, seniors, and I'm right next to Harry Freeman, stepping up to seniors. And I thought I'd just give Harry a chance to say hi. I know you're back for a little bit of redemption, maybe.
Yeah.
Harry, how's it going this weekend so far? Obviously, close to the front row.
Yeah, it's been decent. But a bit of the
How has the racing been? We've had a little bit of driving under lights because of the hot temperatures. We had to change the timetable, which a lot of people may not be aware of, but it was extreme. And then yesterday, of course, full day.
yeah, no, it's been really hot, but I'm getting used to it now. I'm going to Europe so much.
Getting used to it, and of course, we're getting ready for the next race. How has it been so far? Just a little bit of insight into the track conditions.
Yeah, no, it's really heavy with loads of rubber because I've ordered a new tyre now, yeah.
And a lot of drivers, 25. Yeah, it's going to be good. We wish you luck. Nice to see you back on the grid.
Thanks.
That's it from Harry. I'll just move off the grid a little. Also want to say good morning to Andre, 393, over there. After a little bit of an incident yesterday, he's back on the grid as well, so nice to see him. We've also got a new team joining us from the UK, and a lot of drivers who've never actually raced or been to Europe racing with Rotax, so this is really nice. I've spoken to quite a few of the drivers, and we've got a lot of fans. They've got their signs and cheering everyone on also via social media. So if you are here or you aren't here, please give us a shout out and follow on YouTube. We've got our live chat happening there, so send your greetings and good luck to your driver, and we'll try and catch up with them.
Well, thank you, Jen said. It's Andrea Remy, the 393, having an accident yesterday, and, couple of concerns about him, but he's A-OK. And the new team that Jen was referring to, the X-Kart team, headed up by Matty Street. They used to use the X-Kart chassis, bespoke chassis. However, the hot temperatures, the high grip levels, this week, as they make their European debut, the drivers, Lewis Sumner, one of them, and Lewis is going to be starting from the 8th row of the grid in the 410 kart. You can see it there on the left-hand side of your screen. They've moved over. They've got a Carlos Sainz chassis now, and the whole team, drivers and the team, making their European bow. They have chosen the hardest race to jump into. And, well, Lewis Sumner doing an exceptional job, and I know the X-Kart team are well supported on track and off track by On Track Marketing, and I cannot wait to see what On Track Marketing does for the post-race reels and various social media videos that all the media companies produce for their teams and drivers. But a special shout out to On Track Marketing for supporting the X-Kart team. Here is your starting lineup: Paul Grisel, Ruben Moya, Harry Freeman, Leon Hasty, Vivian Gionnet, Rafael Moreau, Arthur Roban, Austin Lee, Tituan Niskaye, Tino Sidler, your top 10. Tino Sidler has had an absolute shocker so far. He's been so quick. He got 2 corners from home before he got moyered yesterday. And that's after a failure in his first race. Antoine Grisel and Andrea Remy, Charlie King and Rayan Gandor are on row 7. Then Lewis Sumner, Matthias Kjellerup, Thomas Verheyen. Kjellerup, meanwhile, he's had several Rotax Grand Finals top finishes, including at least 1 podium. Mikael Soltis, Jack West, Oliver White, Nolan Lamore, Arthur Gilbert, Louis Fouchier, Lucas Konopka from Slovakia. Then it is Louis de Rigolaire, Florent Triola, Dimitar Kolev. Dimitar Kolev, the Bulgarian Praga kart driver. He's got a really intricate, very nice, artistically designed logo and, graphics on his race suit. Proper art in the most traditional sense of the word. So that's Dimitar Kolev in the 391 car. Danny Stoyanenko, Kenneth Van Merkerke, Aaron Garcia Lopez. Watch for the 311 driver, the European X30 champion, to come charging through the pack. Then you've got Rory Armstrong, Attilia Kalapax, Gabriel Jimenez Serrano, Yanis Martin. How have we got Yanis Martin out there? We've not got Tino Sidler, and we've not got Nolan Lamore. Nolan Lamore not on track according to the timing screens. So for the second time today, the lights are green. We're off and racing. And from the start, the poles hit the Paul Grisel and Ruben Moya come together. It's a repeat of Rillarts and Lamore from 3 years ago. And Grisel rejoins the circuit. We got more karts crashing at turn number 3. And you can see the steam coming off the number 318 kart of Titouan Lescaille. We got an RS competition kart out. Louis Fouché also out. Eric, that was a dramatic start.
Wow, quel départ avec cet accrochage entre Paul Grisel et Ruben Moya. Et Paul Grisel qui est parti sur l'extérieur de la piste. Les deux karts ont rebondi l'un contre l'autre. Et malheureusement, Paul Grisel a fini sa course dans l'herbe. Et malheureusement, il a essayé de repartir. Mais je crois que c'est définitivement perdu pour Paul Grisel, malheureusement. Et je ne sais pas ce que va décider la direction de course. Mais là, ça a été énorme. Et d'autant plus que juste derrière, au virage numéro 3, il y a eu de nouveau un accrochage entre plusieurs pilotes. Tout le monde a pu repartir, heureusement, mais de façon très attardée. Pendant ce temps-là, Ruben Moya a bouclé le premier tour en tête devant Harry Freeman et Leon Asti. Vivien Guyonnet-Cussac est en 4e position.
Well, I've got to say that incident between Grisel and Moye was an absolute carbon copy of the incident at the start of the 2023 final. Make it 2022 final, when Nolan Lamore and Kai Rillarts came together. Rillarts was on pole position. Lamore on the outside of row number 1 for the final. Lamore cut across. Rillarts onto the grass. On that occasion, there was no penalty. I wonder if this, the situation will remain the same, because that was an absolute mirror image with Moya coming across to try and get the inside line. The pole sitter then getting shoved onto the grass. There was no penalty, which aggrieved Kai Rillarts 3 years ago. I wonder if the same result will happen, because Paul Grisel is down in 29th position. Harry Freeman and Leon Hasty up the road with Moya in 3rd. Then a gap. Well, no, not a massive gap. Gionnet, Lee, Robin and Moreau are next. Then there is a big, big gap to the driver. Check this out, because the drive's the 359 of Rayan Gandor. Lewis Sumner was in 8th position, but that lack of experience at this level showing, and he loses 10 places in 1 lap. Obviously, I would assume that was an assist that he went off track a little bit, but yes, at this level, any bit of inexperience will be cruelly exposed. Moya ahead of Hasty. This will be an interesting one, Eric. This is Ruben Moya, who has shown this week that he's in a very, very aggressive move. And there's Leon Hasty, who's Scottish.
Allez, on est de retour sur la tête de course avec cette explication. Avec entre Leon Hasty, Ruben Moya qui est en 3e position, et puis juste derrière eux, Vivien Guyonnet qui entend bien profiter éventuellement de la bagarre qui va se dérouler devant lui pour chercher et trouver et profiter, pourquoi pas, d'une opportunité si d'aventure les deux pilotes devant lui, Hasty et Moya, sont un petit peu à la peine. Devant, Harry Freeman est toujours aux commandes. Alors, ce que je comprends pas... Ah oui, ça y est, c'est revenu. Voilà, Freeman, Moya, Hasty et Guyonnet. On est bien d'accord pour cette hiérarchie et Paul Grisel finalement qui est arrêté au drapeau noir. Paul Grisel qui est arrêté, visiblement il doit y avoir des stigmates de cet accrochage du départ, et Paul Grisel qui est donc arrêté au drapeau noir par la direction de course. Il me semblait qu'il était reparti mais très loin, et finalement je pensais qu'il s'était arrêté, mais non, il avait poursuivi, mais malheureusement du côté de la direction de course on a considéré que son kart était, semble-t-il, un peu trop endommagé ou présentait un risque, et de fait eh bien, on lui demande de s'arrêter. Je crois que c'est lui là qui est en train de revenir devant nous, Paul Grisel. Non, c'est pas lui, autant pour moi. Donc voilà pour ce qui est malheureusement du poleman, qui n'aura fait que une centaine de mètres sur cette course malheureusement. Et le 357, attention, Ruben Moya, black flag for Ruben Moya.
Well,
I guess for the start.
Yeah, and that is very, very interesting indeed. So, that's a different result than what happened when Lamore turned into real arts at the start of the final 3 years ago. Obviously, the race officials clamping down hard. So Moya will not win this race. He will not come second. Ruben Moya, the Spaniard, black flagged, DQ from this race. He's sitting just behind Harry Freeman. Harry Freeman's thinking, oh no, the last time I had a driver that had nothing to lose sitting behind me was going into the last quarter of the grand finals, and that ended really well for me. But Freeman, and they are, well, we're looking at, there is Freeman and Moya. Look at the lead that Freeman's got when Ruben Moya pulls into the pits. Harry Freeman will be left with a 3-second lead over Austin Lee, Leon Hasty, Arthur Roban, Rafael Moro, and Vivian Gionnet. Moya pits out of the race. And again, Ruben Moya, but you know, people will be thinking, well, that was a bit out of order. Ruben is an exceptionally talented driver, a paid driver, professional driver out in the United States, leading X30 driver. Welcome to Rotax. We don't play in Rotax or stuff like that. He is out.
Voilà, Ruben Moya donc qui a rejoint les stands avec eh bien ce drapeau noir, hein, suite à l'accrochage du départ. On ne plaisante pas du côté de la direction de course. Les deux pilotes impliqués ont été tout simplement exclus de la course. De fait, eh bien, Harry Freeman, qui était sous la pression du pilote espagnol Moya, eh bien, se retrouve solitaire leader, dirons-nous. Et derrière, eh bien, on a un groupe de furieux là, qui va s'expliquer pour les places d'honneur, emmené par Austin Lee, le pilote allemand. Et il a dans son sillage Arthur Robin et Raphaël Moreau, les deux pilotes tricolores. Et Vivien Guyonnet est en train de tenter de les rattraper. Vivien Guyonnet qui est en 5e position actuellement et qui compte un peu moins de 8 dixièmes de retard sur Raphaël Moreau. On va voir si ça va pouvoir effectuer la jonction, mais il reste très peu de temps, hein. 1 minute 5 à parcourir, c'est-à-dire que nous sommes dans les 2 derniers tours.
Paul Grisel has risen to 18th place after returning to the track. Now, Paul, I did notice that Paul Grisel missed turns 1 and 2 when he rejoined the circuit. However, he was sent from the start-finish line pretty much directly to turn 2. But you aren't allowed to miss part of the circuit. Freeman, 2.5 seconds up the road, 30 seconds remaining. There is the 407 kart of Austin Lee, leading the 306 of Arthur Roban and the 326 of Rafael Moreau. This is 2nd, 3rd and 4th with Vivian Gionnet in 6th. Now, Aaron Garcia Lopez up from 30th to 10th. That is an expected rise, and Garcia Lopez in the number 311 kart for the Arthur Lehouk Racing team. So watch out, I think, the Lehouk team. They have got the bright orange liveried karts. I'm having a little look at the 311 Yes, the orange and white liveried machine. That is the Le Hook Racing driver. Andrea Remy up into 7th position. Charlie King is up into the top 6. We're looking 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. That is the 324, the PB Karts, the teammate to Ruben Moya. The 324 is Vivian Gionnet. But this is the last lap. And Harry Freeman, Jen Wade spoke to him on the grid, Eric, and he said, "You're here for some redemption?" And Harry went, "Yep." And, well, I mean, redemption would be winning the grand finals. Oh, there's a Hunter Motorsport kart off track. Oliver White in the green. But here we go. The black and white of the checkered flag is waiting. Harry Freeman takes the win from Austin Lee, Arthur Roban, and Vivian Gionnet just beats Rafael Moreau to the line. And Aaron Garcia Lopez cross line, took 4 places on the final lap to take 6th from 30th on the grid. He is going to be a contender before this weekend is out for sure.
Voilà, la course qui se termine donc sur cette victoire hein, sans faille pour Harry Freeman. Ensuite, on retrouve Austin Lee, Arthur Robin qui finalement s'impose en 3e position et Vivien Guyonnet qui a pris le meilleur dans le dernier secteur sur Raphaël Moreau pour aller chercher la 4e position. Garcia Lopez termine 6e, Andrea Remy 7e, Charlie King 8e. Ensuite, on retrouve Kelrup, Asti et Soltis pour ce top 11. Vous avez les résultats ici et dans quelques instants les meilleurs moments de cette manche qualificative, donc les highlights.
Well, I have to just highlight one of our drivers here. I've got a special request. Ethan Sang from Taiwan has his entire family here this weekend. First time ever, Ethan?
Yeah, they never saw me race before, but this time they just want to see me in action, so yeah.
Want to see you in action, and I think they've picked a good event to see you in action. You qualified quite well. It's a huge grid. There goes your mechanic. So you must be pretty happy with this and obviously being here in Le Mans.
Yeah, qualifying was okay, I guess. Made a mistake in the sector 2, but we can work with this position, so just keep my head down and keep going forward.
We're going to say get your head down and keep going. Everyone's clearing the grid now, but a big shout out to everyone at home as well, I guess, watching you.
Yeah, just thanks to my mom and dad and everyone who's helping me, the team.
It's great. It's really nice to have you here, and we wish you luck. Thank you. Alrighty, so before I leave the grid, quick word with one more driver, Sean Butcher, just to say hi. Great to see you back on the grid. Normally working as a team coach at KR Sport.
Yeah, normally working, but having a go this week.
Because it's quite good competition as well, isn't it, this week, as usual here in Le Mans?
Yeah, I think it's starting where we are as well. There's a lot of good drivers to overtake, so just see what we can do.
You're having a bit of fun though yesterday, I think. You were up there at the front.
Yeah, I think 2 wins, and then we had a bit of an issue in the second one, but just hopefully plain sailing from here on.
Better than last year.
Yeah, a little bit higher up this year.
Alrighty, we leave you to it. Sean Butcher, great to have you back on the grid, and also one to watch in the kart 384. And of course, yesterday we had a little bit of excitement. So hopefully today it all goes well. We wish everyone luck, and please make sure that anyone watching gives them a big shout out on the live chat. Watch on YouTube, but follow the live stream as well across the weekend if you're here. Make sure you give everyone a shout out, because it's huge pressure for these drivers on the grid, and exciting to be here in Le Mans.
We look at Teresa Babichkova, the 3.63 for Dan Holland Racing. Teresa will be starting on the 5th row of the grid. Here is your starting lineup. Boaz Maximov on pole alongside Gold Chain Charlie. Charlie Wolfit, Svea Uben on the Esprit chassis, the number 387. Svea Uben driving for the GKS Lemons team. Loris Berdinel, Jeremy Roivers, Hugo Martinello, Antoine Taron and Max Sadursky round at your top 8. Then it's Babichkova and Matteo Rivals. Behind the top 10 you have Sean Butcher, Rian Dharmadasa, Sri Lanka represented on row number 6, followed by Matthias Joseph, Hugo Lacroix, Eason Seng, who we've heard from, and I have to say that Eason was mentioning his family. We'll come back to that at the end of the grid. We got Cardoso, Truman, Bourguignon, Cave, Estevez, Regier, Saye, Sitko, Durier, Willems, Burke, Delaunay, Jameson, Comin, Canal, Littler, Freckelin, Courage, Pais, Orenball and Vahaga. So Eason Seng, his entire family are here in France. Mum, Dad Wayne, brother, older brother and sister. And Eason's older brother has been accepted into Oxford University. Oxford University to study law. And anyone who knows anything about that, that is next to the Harvard Law School. Oxford University's law department, one of the best in the world, and I think the family are going to go from here to have a little look around Oxford to see where their son is going to hopefully get themselves a very, very good education and not a very, very good alcohol dependency issue. But no, in Oxford University, they don't do stuff like that. They only study and row in boats and study. They don't do any sort of drinking at all. So, Mrs. Stang, you're okay. If you believe that, you believe anything. Here we go. Oh, the smoke haze, Sergio Big Guns on the remote camera. Here we go, Eric.
Et c'est parti avec un très bon départ. Oula, Maximov là qui fait un écart là, mais qui a tenté d'empêcher Wolfit de prendre le meilleur. Mais ça n'a pas empêché le Britannique de s'imposer et de mener le peloton au moment où le paquet négocie le virage numéro 3, le double droite des deux arbres et c'est parti. Oh là là, c'est parti dans l'herbe avec deux karts qui sont accrochés l'un à l'autre. Est-ce qu'on va pouvoir repartir rapidement pour ne pas perdre plus de temps que ça? Dans l'herbe un peu mouillée en pente, ça va pas être évident. Ça y est, c'est reparti, mais beaucoup trop loin pour espérer un bon résultat. Pendant ce temps-là, Wolfit mène la danse.
Well, two drivers at the back of the field colliding. Up at front, well, Boaz Maximov is back into the lead. However, yesterday morning, Gold Chain Charlie Wolfit retired from his opening race and then was extremely cautious going into turn number 1 in his next 2 races. And I can imagine that his mechanic, his driver coach, will have had a word with Gold Chain Charlie. The words probably aren't printable or even broadcastable at this time of day. Just to say, you're there at the front, let's try and get round turn 1 near the front for a change. And Gold Chain Charlie, have to say, he cut across the front of Boaz Maximov going into turn number 1 like he meant it. So that went well. He's now gone backwards. Oh no! It's the curse of the commentator strikes again because Eason Seng is out of the race. Oh, he was the Tony kart that had, well, let's see, it was a Carlos Sainz chassis. That was, it was Diego Cardoso who had mounted the back of Eason Sen's kart and then ripped quite a bit of stuff off the back that Eason needs. And Eason out of the race. Keith Burke and Antoine Taron have not gone out. So I hope that Keith, maybe the Irish, celebrating the fact that they won the loudest cheer competition in the driver parade, and they decided to sack off the karting and go and celebrate the fact that they had the loudest cheer. Maybe.
Allez, Boaz Maximov qui est aux commandes et Jeremy Rovers qui est maintenant le deuxième, le pilote espagnol qui a pris le meilleur, notamment sur Charlie Wolfit. Wolfit qui a glissé un petit peu dans la hiérarchie et surtout un bon départ également, on n'en a pas parlé jusqu'à présent, et bien, du pilote français Hugo Martinello qui est actuellement en 3e position justement devant Charlie Wolfit, le numéro 310 qui est maintenant sous pression. Mais en tout cas, c'est un bon départ. Lui qui s'est lancé, Hugo Martinello, depuis la 3e ligne. Il a effectué un bon début de course. Maintenant, il faut qu'il s'accroche pour rester aux avant-postes et pourquoi pas profiter des aléas de cette fin de course. Il reste encore un petit peu de temps. On n'est pas tout à fait encore à mi-parcours du temps réglementaire. Et attention parce que derrière, eh bien, il y a un gros paquet de furieux qui est en train de revenir, même si on s'explique et qu'on perd un petit peu de temps. Attention quand même à cette hiérarchie qui pourrait être menacée. Et Hugo Martinello a tout intérêt effectivement à se rapprocher du duo de tête pour ensuite bien se mettre à l'abri éventuellement de l'éventuel retour, je vais y arriver, du groupe de chasse.
Well, Jeremy Roivers has the race lead going into turn number 3, the Spaniard. And oh, there's another driver stopping, the 372. That is Boris Verhagen, the Bouvan Power driver, parking on the start, well, coming out of the final corner. Verhagen starting right at the back after putting it on pole before a technical exclusion. It's gone horribly wrong for the Dutchman, for the Belgian Bouvan Power team. But there's another Dutchman driving for the Belgian Bouvan Power team, looking very good at the moment. That's Boaz Maximov. In second place, Hugo Martinello for the Dream Racing team, closing in P3. Berdinel is 4th. Babichkova is now 5th. Wolfit has slipped back to 6th position. This is a very valuable test session for Charlie Wolfit because he is too old to race a junior kart at the Rotax Grand Finals. However, he is in the age bracket to race juniors in the UK. Now, traditionally, if the British junior champion, and if any junior champion is too old because of the age discrepancies between the UK and the rest of the world, traditionally, if the British junior champion is too old to race juniors at the grand final, they get a senior ticket. Traditionally, it's not guaranteed, but it is traditional. Charlie Wolfit, the 3-3-1 of Kern Willems, the GKS Lemons driver, out of the race. So should Wolfit be British junior champion, he would, if he went to the grand finals, it would be as a senior. So this is a really good session to find out where Charlie is in terms of his driving compared to the actual senior drivers. And to me, he's proven lots of things. Number one, he's still very fast. Number two, he does need to learn how to drive senior, because driving junior is different to driving senior in terms of how you race those around and what the aggression level you could expect. So a lot to learn and a lot to practice for Gold Chain Charlie, but the speed is definitely there. As Roivers being challenged by Martinello and Maximov. 2.5 minutes to go.
Allez, il reste un peu moins de 2 minutes 15 à parcourir maintenant et on a vu Hugo Martinello s'imposer face à Boaz Maximov qui est désormais en 3e position sur la ligne de chronométrage, et c'est Jeremy Rivers qui est passé en tête de cette manche de qualification. Et attention, parce que derrière ça semble revenir, le groupe de chasse emmené par Babichkova qui est en train de faire le forcing avec Matteo Rivals et Loris Berdinel dans son sillage pour essayer de tenter de revenir sur le trio tête. On s'est retourné là du côté de Matteo Rivals. Dernière manche qualificative de la catégorie senior.
Now, earlier on, I said that Keith Burke was not out there. Keith is out there in the number 415 cart. Obviously, the transponder isn't working, so the timing, Apex timing, are scoring him manually, and Keith Burke is 18th, so he's gained 8 places, which is great news. Oh, there's Boaz Maximov and Martinello. Maximov wasting no time. He's got 40 seconds to go. Teresa Babichkova on her way to the front. And behind Babichkova, Matteo Rivals. Now, Butcher is only 10th. Wolfit has dropped to 11th. Sver Uben has dropped to 12th. The one driver on the move, Brandon Truman, in number 385. There he is, up into 6th position. So you've got the 310 of Martinello chasing race leader Jeremy Roivers. Roivers has cleared off. He's halfway down the back straight. Here is the chasing group: Martinello, Maximov, Babichkova. Babichkova tucking in behind Matteo Rivals with the second of the Dan Holland Racing carts behind. Yep, the 385 of Brandon Truman and Hugo Lacroix in 7th at the back of this group. So this is the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th with 1 lap to go.
Allez, c'est chaud là derrière Jeremy Rivers qui est à l'abri, solitaire leader, et derrière Martinello, un groupe de 5 furieux derrière lui, prêt à profiter de la moindre erreur du pilote français, emmené par Maximov qui essaye de trouver l'ouverture, peut-être ici à l'extérieur dans le banking, mais ça ne va pas. Si, ça passe finalement pour Maximov qui a... Martinello là qui se fait pousser dans l'herbe. Il est revenu dans la ligne droite du Technopark, mais il a perdu 2 positions, et a priori ça serait Maximov et Rivals qui seraient passés pour le gain de la 2e et la 3e position. Pendant ce temps-là, Jeremy Nevers est passé. On va donc avoir Maximum, Rivals, Martinello et Babichkova pour le top 5. Quelle fin de course dans cette dernière manche de qualification senior.
There's your winner, Jeremy Roivers, by 3 seconds as Boaz Maximov grabs second on the last lap from Hugo Martinello, who also got passed by Matteo Rivals. Rivals takes third on the last lap, Martinello fourth. Babichkova is fifth. Brandon Truman finishing sixth. Lacroix, Butcher, Joseph, Berdinel, Wolfitz, Uben, Darmadasa, Estevez, Coman, Bourguignon, Sadursky, Tom Cave, then Adrian Canal and Yanis Courage, the son of the legendary Yves Courage, whose name and eponymous sports car, LMP2, LMP1, LMP 900, Group C, Group C2, the Courage name synonymous with Le Mans and sports cars, and Yanis Courage finishing 20th. As you look at the rest of the results, we'll flick to some highlights very shortly, and then it'll be back down to Jen Wade on the grid.
So the dilemmas of being a race driver is you've got all these different things you have to put on. Safety, protection, rear protector, gloves, boots. So I just wanted to say hi to everyone in Switzerland. Previously, Raris Pescu from Romania was racing with us national level, and he's been joining us on the Euro Trophy International Tour, just climbing into his kart. Hold on, I'll just give you a hand. You're welcome. Okay. No mums on the grid. So we'll let him hop into his go-kart. We just get him to breathe. Just relax. Okay? Alrighty, so yeah, hi to everyone in Switzerland and Romania. We've got 2 other Romanian drivers, one on the grid. Thomas, I know you're down there. Give us a wave. There he is, 249. So Henry, we wanted to say hi because Pascu's been doing, Raris Pascu's been doing such a great job this season. We've seen him at the front, also on the international stage. And yeah, it's nice to see him. Of course, now he's based in Switzerland. Dad's here with him. He's relaxed, he's ready, dressed, so don't Mum if you're watching. Just got a hydration break for the marshals at the moment. Not that I want to talk about football.
Well, you could talk to football. You could talk about football to me, Jen, because I'm Welsh.
Well, I'm Australian, and we went out a bit earlier.
Well, we
And we
decided
know
we'd
who-
give the rest
who
a
put us
chance to
out.
not even go this year
Home
to the World
nation.
Cup. Wasn't that kind of us? Well,
Hi to all the Aussies watching as well. I thought I'd just throw that in.
yeah, we haven't had a yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah. There we go. Here's a look at your starting
We'll get that from
grid.
Sean Butcher.
Well, yeah, Sean Butcher, he's half and half. Oof.
No.
He's a yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
an Aussie.
No.
He just lives in the UK.
Here we go. Here's your starting lineup. Thanks, Jen. It's Finley Lines. Looking at him there on pole position. Can he do what he did yesterday and just clear off? Well, he's got Albert Friend, Sebastian Clark, and Stanley Stafford behind him. Stanley Stafford for the Hunter Motorsport team. Stanley, they're racing under heavy hearts today. A family involving, I think Stanley's auntie. So Stanley, the decision has been made to stay and race in, with Stanley's aunt in his mind, and everything that Stanley in that 245 kart for Hunter Motorsports today will be driven by passion, talent, and emotion for Stanley Clark. And do you know Stanley Clark? No, that's Stanley Stafford. I apologise for getting my Sebastian Clark and my Stanley Staffords mixed up. But no, Stanley Stafford, everything that Stanley does today with a heavy heart. I will say this, and drivers, who have suffered, family bereavements or family, emergencies whilst they've been away racing, once the family, and it is a family decision, once the family make the decision to stay and race, sometimes the drivers, they are so focused by their, their grief, their emotion, that they unlock something within themselves they didn't realize they had. Is that going to happen to Stanley Stafford today? Number 245 for the rest of Stanley's family back home in the UK. You have my sympathies. Stanley and his dad are here, and well, let's see what happens as they come to the line. Lines, Friend, Clark and Stafford. We're off and racing into turn number 1. Raris Pascu on the inside, up over the curb. Oh, and in the middle of the pack there, a couple of drivers bouncing up and over one another. We'll get a number check on them as they emerge. Oh, and there is one driver. That is a PB racing kart. And it is the two, I can't see the number, but the driver's very upset. 230 it is. And that would be Ethan Bailey. Oh, Ethan Bailey, another shocking result. He was involved in the race yesterday where we had a spark plug gate yesterday. Ethan Bailey involved in that race and unfortunately didn't get to start that race, but it's Lines leading at the end of lap number 1. Clark is second. I have to say to Matt Nibbs Isaacs on the live chat, we've done a welfare check. Aaron Yo, who is Sebastian Clark's mechanic, has been seen without his England bucket hat, so it wasn't glued to his head. It is okay. Well, Clark is closing in on Finley Lines. It's a KR Sport 1-2 at the moment with Friend, Pascu, May, Killer, Babicek and Stafford, your top 8. Then Undlugo. Okay, I spoke to Turhan Erin Unludagan last night. I believe it's Unludagan, and they can come and tell me if I'm wrong, and I will correct it. But Unludagan in 9th. Thomas Jackson rounding out your top 10. Had a Luca Holmes, Balak, Harry Ratcliffe, Teo Policand, Liam Burdinell, Tio Battisti, Anton Christiansen, and the rest of the field following through. But Finley Lines having, he's just having a very smooth race. Now, these two teammates, will they try and pull away? Friend, so this is KR Sport 1-2, Dan Holland Racing 3-4. Sit back and take a ticket. This could be good. Craft Motorsport are running in 5th with Kimmy May, and then a third member of the Dan Holland Racing army, Zenik Babacek, running in 6th position.
Allez, c'est parti de façon efficace au niveau de Finley Lines qui occupe la tête du classement devant son coéquipier Sebastian Clark. Et derrière, on retrouve deux autres coéquipiers, Albert Friend et Reyes Pascu, qui sont en formation de duo, pourrait-on dire, dans cette début de course. Zidnek Babicek est en train de tenter de revenir en 5e position, alors que derrière on retrouve Killard Jackson, Uludogan et Théo Polican pour le premier pilote tricolore classé qui est en 10e position. Théo Polican, le numéro 201, qui s'est lancé au niveau de la grille assez loin et qui a effectué un bon début de course avec le numéro 201, donc qui est en train de remonter. Il s'est lancé depuis la 19e position.
On the back. Oh, and that is the number 248 kart retiring to the pits of Max Umek, and that is a shame because Umek is a lovely young man. However, the racing gods have not smiled on him this morning. Further down the order, looking where we are, there is Unludagan in 11th, Burdinell, Battisti, Stafford down to 14th now. Jensen Chalk is 15th. Christiansen, Ratcliffe, Holthausen, Sanchez Galvez and Kombakon. That's your top 20 with Siadowska, Thomas Gavinenu next.
Allez, ça se regroupe en haut de la hiérarchie avec pour l'instant Finley Lines qui est toujours aux commandes, mais derrière vous le voyez, les duos qui étaient formés ont été annulés et on a maintenant quasiment 5 pilotes roue dans roue à la poursuite de Finley Lines emmené par Sebastian Clark, me semble-t-il. On va en avoir confirmation lors du passage. Oui, c'est ce qui me semblait. J'avais vu un autre numéro, Albert Friends, qui est en 2e position. Rayl Pascu est donc 3e et Sebastian Clark est passé en 4e position. C'est lui, vous le voyez sur l'image, qui ferme la marche de ce groupe de chasse, le numéro 257. Et derrière, on a également Babicek qui est en train de tenter de faire la jonction. Il ne manque pas grand-chose, mais il n'est pas encore au contact des pilotes qui sont devant lui. Sébastien Clark toujours 4e de ce groupe de chasse. Et ensuite, on a Babicek à 3 longueurs de châssis maximum qui tente de revenir. Kimi May est en 6e position, Christophe Killer 7e et Théo Polican 8e, alors que le meilleur tour en course a été réalisé pour l'instant par Théo Battisti.
Albert Friend moves into P2, bringing Rares Pascu with him. Denny Babicek second, and now, after Finley Lines was initially running as part of a KR Sport 1-2, his KR Sport teammate, you can see, has dropped back to 5th position, make that 4th place now as Clark repasses the 2-3-5 of Pascu. Pascu gets him back, however. Here comes Kimmy May for Craft Motorsport. Now, Finley Lines has, count them, 1, 2, 3 Dan Holland karts sitting behind him. So what has Finley done? He's turned around and gone, right, let's turn up the wick and disappear. They can't catch me if they can't find me. And that is Finley Lines is the name of the game for Finley as he crosses the line. Lap times with 2.5 minutes to go. Well, Finley Lines, purple lap, 55.045. And that should help Lines stay clear of Friend, of Babicek, of Pascu, Clark, May, Polikand, Killer, Holmes Ballock, Unludigan, then Jackson, Battisti, Burdinell, Stafford and Jensen Chalk running in P15. This junior grid is so talented. 85 drivers and, well, 13 won't even make it to the superheats tomorrow. So everybody's just scrambling to make sure they make it to the superheat. Drivers down at the back, Sarkani, Hanger, Mitchell Elliott, Mate Vondracek, Liam O'Hagan, Gustavo Duval-Guache, Philippe Zerak, Anton Christiansen, all outside the top 20. Thomas Gavinanu hanging on in 21st. Will that be enough for the young Romanian to make it into the superheats at least? Of course, speaking to various drivers, families, there are, some drivers are obviously here to win. Others are here realistically to get into the final. And then there's a whole host of others that are literally here say, look, we want to make the superheat. In junior and senior, we want to make the superheat. New second place driver, Denny Babicek. Although I feel that 50 seconds plus a lap to go, Friend's not wonderfully happy, just saying, come on, what are you doing? We can still catch him. Friend's more concerned with the fact, Denny, don't defend because we've got company. Not of the friendly kind either, with Pascu, Clark and May bearing down, and Babicek defends. Friends there going, no, don't defend. Let me push you. Babicek thinking, teammate, yes. Do I trust you with 30 seconds to go in a race? Not sure. Friend's like, uh-oh. And now Friend is going to have his hand forced because as you can see, they have been caught and they're tripping over each other. Albert Friend is now going to try, and whether Babicek likes it or not, Friend is going to try and push him away because Friend has now got a whole heap of trouble bearing down on him. There they are, 2, 4, 6 of them as the clock strikes 0.
Allez, c'est chaud là dans le groupe qui s'explique pour la 2e, 3e et 4e place notamment, avec cette carte roue dans roue et surtout la remontée météorique de Paul Grisel qui partait 19e et Paul Grisel qui grappille tour après tour des positions. Pardon, Paul Grisel, Théo Polican, autant pour moi, désolé pour la confusion. C'est Théo Polican qui est remonté en 6e position et nul doute que dans ce dernier tour, eh bien, il ne va pas en rester là. Théo Polican qui s'était un petit peu signalé sur le rendez-vous du RMCF par ses manœuvres un petit peu agressives, mais il a reçu un avertissement d'ailleurs dans cette course. Mais là, je pense qu'il est en train de faire une très très belle démonstration et on va voir si ça ne pourrait pas être le facteur X de cette dernière boucle dans cette fin de course, dans cette catégorie junior pour cette manche de qualification opposant les pilotes A aux pilotes D. Le voici, Paul Grisel dans la... J'y tiens à Paul Grisel, désolé, Théo Polican qui va en terminer, voilà, pendant ce temps-là, Finley Lines est en vainqueur, Babicek termine 2e, Friend 3e, Clark 4e et Théo Polican 5e. Il partait depuis la 19e position.
What a drive from Théo Polikand from 19th to 5th. But there on your screen, the left-hand side, of your screen, you can see Finley Lines. That is another lights to flag effort for Finley Lines, who is looking very cool, very calm, and very collected. Zeni Babicek second. Albert Friend survives the last lap to take third. Sebastian Clark is fourth, then Teo Polican, Rares Pascu, Kimi May, Turhan, Erin, and Ludigan, Theo Battisti, Liam Burdinell, Thomas Jackson, Jensen Chalk finishing in P12, and Stanley Stafford 14th on a day and a week that, well, will be memorable for the Stafford family for lots of reasons, good and bad, and it's now down to Stanley to make sure that there is at least something to smile about for the Stafford family at the end of the weekend. There he is coming into the pit lane at the bottom of your screen with the white top and the blue leggings to his race suit. And yeah, just to say, thoughts and prayers are with the Stafford family back home in the UK today.
Well, while we wait for the pickup trailer, I thought I just want to highlight a couple of the impressive drivers on the second row here. From Slovakia, Martin Soltis. Martin, I'll just say a quick hi, because we've got Riley on the front row. And of course, we know Riley has been on the podium here. He's a good little driver. We've seen him at the Grand Finals, Euro Trophy in the UK. What's it like to be lining up when you're really the guy that they're chasing and you're chasing during the year? What's it like to be on the grid here in Le Mans with these guys?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Can we agree with these guys because they're the best drivers in the world, and it's a good feeling.
Now you have a lot of experience. What can you say about this week? How tough has it been? What kind of challenges have you had with the heat? Obviously, it's not an easy track.
It's not an easy track. You have many different corners, many hard corners, many straights.
And what about for the heat? What have you been doing to stay cool?
Just going and keep going.
Keep going. Okay, you're probably used to it though, in the summer. Not so bad. And of course over here, Lithuania on the grid, second row. Margis, tell us about your week so far.
It was kind of hard
We were struggling at the beginning, but now we solved all the problems.
Now, you're also probably one of the leading junior drivers coming from Lithuania. What's it like being here on the grid? Because Martin said, you know, it's tough, but racing against some of the best drivers in the world, I guess.
It's fun.
And that's a good thing if you're having fun. I know it's serious, but it's also good to have some fun. Anyone at home watching in Lithuania? I know there is.
I think my grandmother and my mom.
Alrighty, so one quick word before we finish with this guy. Thank you, Majis. Riley Murrow. Just move out. How are you? To see you, but always nice to see you at the front, because I think there's a lot of drivers trying to catch you behind.
First time being at the front in a junior, really, so.
A rookie. Normally we see you in Minimax. We've seen you at the Euro Trophy. Hasn't been so easy, has it?
No, it's definitely a big learning curve, for sure.
What's the main difference apart from the size of the chassis?
Mainly just like how you have to control the throttle, like how you got to feed it and be a lot more efficient.
Of course, you're on the Mojo C2 tyres. Normally, you're on the Mojo C2 tyres, same ground, but different size tyres. A lot more grip, I guess, when you've got the bigger chassis and more power.
Yeah, the tyres a lot harder to get switched on and find the grip, but you can definitely push it a lot more once you finally get the tyres heated up.
And it's definitely more fun?
I don't know, not yet.
Not yet, okay. That's because you're only like a little munchkin. You're so tiny. When I look at some of the other drivers on the grid with you, I think, aren't you still in Minimax? But you're not, you're a junior now. So anyone you want to say a quick hi to?
My mum, dad, my sister at home, pretty much everyone that's watching.
Yeah, thanks to everyone that's watching, and hi to everyone. I know there's a lot of mums not here, and sisters as well. So good luck. Nice to see you on the front row. Riley Murrow.
Now, Jen, there is, you talk about mums, and kart mums happen to be, you know, a subject close to my heart, should we say. But there's a kart nan that we need to say hi to this morning. And it's Ryan White's nan, Wendy, watching
Hi, Wendy.
back in Newcastle. She can't be here. She's always at Ryan's races, but she can't come and she's not happy about it. So we've got to make sure we say hi to Ryan White's nan, Wendy. So say hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
There we go.
And hi to all the nans and
Yes.
granddads and everyone watching, because it's really good.
I know.
It's
The longer I
it's
do
a
this
big
job,
family,
Jen,
the
I'm going to
Rotax
get into
family.
kart nans as well. But Ryan White, 272. I've got to say, we call Riley Murrow the human highlight reel. I think we're going to have to call him Munchkin Murrow from now on, Jen. You've started a trend. Munchkin Murrow.
He's one of the few juniors that's a little bit shorter than me.
Yeah, there we go, yeah. Well, now, Munchkin Murrow on pole position.
He doesn't like it.
No, he doesn't. Oh, does he like the human highlight reel better?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. The human highlight reel, Riley Murrow leads this grid to the start. Jen, before we go, the atmosphere down the grid this morning, do you find that people are happier now that it's not quite as
No, they're
hot?
really tired.
They're all tired?
It's very quiet.
Oh. Well.
It's been a big week, and of course having to change the schedules. We're on version 17.
That's okay. Well, you know, it keeps everyone on their toes. You know, the weather keeps everybody on their toes. And we hope that in the paddock, that the Spanish team that had their tent literally destroyed by last night's storm, that they're okay. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Riley Murrow, not Munchkin Murrow, the human highlight reel. Riley Murrow leads Carsten Soer, Mahus Masinas, Martin Soltis, Mikael Grantins, and Louis Radcliffe to the start. The only Norwegian driver here, Mikael Grantins, starting in the top 5. Philip Hansler, Marcel Poppercool, Ryan White, hello Wendy, Miyazaki having a very strong one, the young lady from Austria. Uh-oh, who is that has not gone out? William Rundfeldt, the 265, being helped there. That Carlos Sainz chassis. Rundfeldt has represented Denmark before. Oh, no. That's the use. That hand signal is like, I can't help. There's nothing we can do. That means that we are down one Dane. Andre Mathieu, Charles Ural, João Maria Pereira, Loris Perron, Gabriel Giacomelli, Nathan Lecurio, Thibaut Mercier, Maximilian Kiel, Harry Taylor, Lucian Smith. The only driver here representing Oman, Floris Schenkenberg, is next to Josh Cormack, Leonard Kirster, no longer William Rundfeldt. Then you've got Gwedson, Guion, Hammond, Rakaitis, Balbanov, Blanc, Goitra, Latour, and at the back of the field, watch for Mick Klinkers, who won the Minimax ticket at the German Cup. At the back of the field in the number 290 kart. Lights are out. We're off and racing. It's a good start from Riley Murrow, but look at coming back, Carsten Sue around the outside. Oh, a spinner, and the number 220 gets turned around. That would be Andre Mathieu, and there was a Tony kart that vaulted over the top of Mathieu. Trying to see who that was. We'll get a number check on them next time around.
Allez, un départ un peu chaotique avec Karsten Sor qui a été un petit peu poussé sur l'extérieur et qui a perdu pas mal de positions dans le groupe de tête. Et puis derrière, on a eu deux pilotes qui se sont accrochés, dont Mathieu André, le numéro 220, qui malheureusement est reparti très attardé, me semble-t-il. En tout cas, c'est bien parti, lui, pour Riley Murrow, qui est aux commandes de cette première manche qualificative catégorie junior.
The curse of the commentator strikes again. No sooner do I finish singing Mick Klinker's praises and say, watch out for Mick in this race. He was the Tony kart that had nowhere to go and ploughed into the spinning Andre Mathieu and is out of the race. My apologies. Into an awful lot of awnings. The Thule arrived this morning to find a It was actually some of the circuit fencing was damaged because such that was the nature of last night's storm. Here comes the battle for the race lead. Massinas chasing Murrow, and into third position, Martin Soltis closing in.
Allez, on revient sur la tête de course après ces petits problèmes de liaison, si vous nous suivez sur la chaîne YouTube du RMCIT, avec cette bagarre qui oppose Riley Murrow et Mathius Matsinas, qui exerce une pression constante de tous les instants sur le leader, mais pour l'instant celui-ci ne commet aucune erreur. Les trois premiers pilotes sont largement détachés sur un groupe qui est en train de s'expliquer, emmené par Louis Radcliffe, me semble-t-il, le 282, ouais c'est ça, et derrière il y a du monde, il y a Ryan White, Nathan Lecuiro, Marcel Popacoul et Karsten Sor qui remonte petit à petit après ce départ un peu chaotique pour lui qui s'est lancé de la première ligne. Il est désormais 8e.
There is a change for the lead. Mahos Masinas from Lithuania, the reigning Rotax Grand Finals Juniors champion, takes the lead. Murrow in second. And in third is Martin Soltis. However, this is now going to be important for Riley Murrow because, like you said, it's not that much fun just yet with the extra power and the extra grip. But that is because you can see the difference in height between Murrow, look at the pedal extensions that he's still got on his car, and Masinas. Murrow is learning quickly. He's learning about the fact that he's got more grip, more power. His kart is wider, so the rear track is a lot wider. He can't make the same sort of, well, highlight reel passing manoeuvres that he did become famous for in the UK last year because the kart is bigger. He's tried, and his mechanic Lee Taylor has ended up fixing lots of broken parts as Riley getting, into the swing of things in terms of junior driving. Now he's calmed down. The pace has never been in question, and now he has got the dimensions of the kart nailed down, and there's the result. Riley Murrow is your new race leader for Sam Pollitt Racing.
Allez, changement en tête de l'épreuve avec Riley Murrow, le jeune pilote britannique qui fait ses débuts dans la catégorie et qui, on le voit, la différence de gabarit avec notamment Masinas qui est derrière lui est flagrante. Et donc, ses débuts sont plus que concluants, comme vous pouvez le voir avec, évidemment, là, s'il perd des places, mais en tout cas, il est au contact des leaders et il a beau se retourner, il n'y a personne derrière lui parce que derrière, il y a quasiment 3 secondes d'écart avec le groupe qui est lancé à la poursuite de ce trio de tête. Mais pour l'instant, Riley Murrow, même s'il est troisième, il réalise une très très bonne opération. Derrière, on voit en 4e position Louis Radcliffe qui essaye de s'échapper du groupe de poursuivants. Pas sûr qu'il y parvienne. Et dans ce groupe, Karsten Sor est revenu en 6e position. Dommage pour le Français qui s'est lancé depuis la première ligne. Mais là, ce départ et ce premier virage ont été catastrophiques pour lui. Peut-être un petit peu trop, entre guillemets, tendre, si je peux me permettre cette expression. Vous me direz que c'est toujours plus facile derrière un micro qu'au volant du kart. Mais depuis hier, je regardais et il me semble un petit peu tendre sur certaines manœuvres et surtout il ferme pas forcément tout le temps les portes, mais bon, écoutez, ça viendra. En tout cas, il est en train de réaliser une bonne opération pour essayer de revenir sur les avant-postes. Le voici ici qui passe en 6e position et désormais c'est Joao Pereira qui est derrière lui, qui a pris le meilleur sur Harry Taylor, parce que Ryan White a rétrogradé en 25e position.
There is Mahinas chasing your new race leader, Martin Soltis, the Soltis brothers. Slovakia's #1 karting family dynasty. Martin, a junior, Michael, a senior. They've both been to the Grand Finals before. They both drive for the KRK racing team, and Martin Soltis is pulling away from the reigning junior Grand Finals champion, Mahus Masinas. Masinas closes in under braking, going into Virage to Technopark, and now through Pits Bend and through the Virage to Grandstand. On to another lap. Murrow holds a watching brief. Great slipstream from Masinas, but Soltis stands firm. Out to turn number 2, just over a minute remaining. Here comes Mahus Masinas, backs out of it. That's going to cost him a little bit of momentum. Here comes Riley Murrow back into play. Radcliffe and Poppercool are next. Now, to carry on with the storylines from yesterday, Marcel Poppercool's sort of original team owner, Kato Adams, he was watching yesterday from Ireland. He was going to a wedding in Ireland. Now, in Ireland, it is currently 9:16 a.m. in the morning, and I have my doubts Kato Adams is in any fit state to even watch or even focus on the screen. If you've ever been to an Irish wedding, the first thing you do after an Irish wedding is that you write the next 24 to 48 hours off. Just write them off. and then come back to the land of the living maybe, 3 days later. Let's see. Great battle for the race lead. Popacall is running in 8th place now. Soltis, Massinas and Murrow are your top 3. They are not far behind, and closing in is Louis Ratcliffe, Carsten Sewer, João Maria Pereira and Harry Taylor from 19th to 17th for the Dan Holland Racing driver. Here comes in Soltis, breaks early, Massinas into the back of Soltis, and they're all closing up. The clock has struck 0, Eric. Last lap board about to go out. We did have 3 for the lead. We've now got 6 for the lead.
Allez, c'est le dernier tour avec Martin Soltis là qui cherche à fermer les portes, et de fait ça profite à Muro dans le premier virage. Voilà, Soltis qui tentait de fermer et d'emmener un petit peu vers l'extérieur son adversaire direct. Il a commis une erreur, et ça se touche avec Massinas là qui est parti à la faute, et de fait il a ouvert la porte, et c'est une physionomie tout à fait différente dans ce dernier tour avec Carstensor qui est en 4e position, et c'est finalement Riley Muro qui mène la danse. Le jeune Riley Muro qui s'est même échappé et qui profite un petit peu du chaos entre guillemets qui se produit derrière lui. Attention à cette attaque dans le freinage du Technopark avec Carstensor qui va à l'extérieur pour tenter d'aller chercher la 3e position. Ouais, c'est fait. Attention à la réaccélération. Muro qui s'impose devant Soltis, et Carstensor qui revient en 3e position.
Well, the bigger boys all conspired to slow each other down and let little Riley Murrow escape for his first major junior Rotax race win. That will keep the Sam Pollock Racing team happy. Lee Taylor, Teddy Pritchard, Williams, Anderson, Chilcott and the rest of the SPR Racing crew will be happy with Riley Murrow's performance. Well, I've got to say, Riley, and I know his family are here, Jen Wade coined the nickname Munchkin, and after one race, you're now, as Munchkin Murrow, you are undefeated. You may not like it, but you might have to think about it. Is that a lucky charm? Who knows? Riley Murrow takes the victory in Junior Rotax qualifying heat C versus E. And so the first round of junior races are in the books. Soltis, Sewer, Radcliffe, Pereira, Massinas only 6 after the last lap shenanigans. Taylor up to 7th, Lucian Smith from 20th to 8th. Lecurio, Hansler, Popacall slipping back to 11th. Aidan Hammond, great drive from Aidan from 27th to 12th. Then Charles Ural, Perron, Miyazaki, Andre Mathieu. So that was a good recovery drive from Andre Mathieu, Luca Guion, Gwedson, Kirster, and Ryan White, only 20th. I can imagine there's a phone call from Granny Wendy in Newcastle, collect call to Le Mans, France. Ryan, put your foot out, lad. Something like that. That's not a great Scottish accent or a Newcastle accent. I apologise to both nations concerned, but you get the impression. You get the gist. Let's have a look at the highlights. Then it's DD2 Racing up next.
Quick hi here to team boss, Eminem. We were just talking about Matthias from Lebanon. We'll say hi and then I'm going off the grid.
Hello.
Great to have Matthias on the grid here. Of course, team owner, Matthias Njem Motorsport. And of course, right opposite, in your view, Matthias, is the man from Italy that almost took out my cameraman, Serge, yesterday. There's a nice reel floating around on the internet. You can watch it later. How's everything going?
So far, so good. I'm enjoying it.
You're enjoying it, and we saw you at the front of the at the race yesterday take the checkered flag.
As I said, so far, so good. There's still a long week ahead.
Got our fingers crossed, and I know your family's probably also watching at home
I think so, yeah.
because the three of you were racing.
No, today it's just me.
Just you, okay. You're doing the hard work, running the team and racing on the grid, but I know you love it. Thank you. So kart, for everyone watching, 506 from Lebanon. Just waiting on the green flag. And good to see Leonardo Baccaglini back on the grid with a different chassis today. After a little bit of an adventure, I guess. But you can watch that back yesterday. And nice to have you with me too. Serge, my cameraman, because you were almost collected as part of his cart.
Yes, luckily, Sergio, he's not just got big guns, he was able to move his legs very quickly as the accident, which happened directly in front of him and almost directly into him. But yeah, there is quite a funny reel. I thought he was going to get carted off on the trailer with the cart, actually, and the camera. Ah, right, okay. Well, you can hear, thanks Jen, thank you again. You can hear the and out onto the grid. The DD2 drivers only get one heat today. They're split into two grids because we have nearly 70 of them. And it's going to be Stan Pex leading the way with Sem Knyoppers second, Antoine Barbarou third, followed by Emils Akmans, Jakob Purcell, Edgars Vilkens, then Enzo Ball, Leonardo Baccaglini, Matthias Njem, Nico Hanke. Yes, the Baccaglini reel, it's got it's got Pharaoh Monch is the song. You know, yes, that bit. And it's quite good. Sergio's quite proud of it. Bit of fame. Nico Hanke and Matthias Njem are on row number 5. Dokuchi Marcin and Len Nice on row number 6. Kilian Ferrer and Alvaro Jimenez, row 7. Then it's William Christiansen, Archer Videra, Imke Arts, Noah Neumann, Lewis Goff, Daniel Carmona. And it's the Daniel Carmona team along with Pablo Gutierrez, I believe, that had their awning destroyed overnight by the storm. And let's have a look. William Antrobus, Lemoine, Desert, Cleribo, Rennie, Kukac, Gutierrez, Kiliansky, Rose, Desert, Frankie, Ladino, Klabots, and Sami Al-Assad, the Jordanian driver at the back of the field, but learning all the time. At the moment, Edgars Vilkens would lead Mark Kimber in the point standings. That's going to change, obviously, as this race carries on, and then we'll get a full rundown of where we're going to find people in the superheats after, not this race, but the next race. They are in to the tram lines. The first DD2 race of the day is not go.
Faux départ pour cette première course DD2. Allez, on va remettre ça aux nouvelles procédures en place.
Yeah, a little bit too slow, and then not everybody in formation. Now, I've got to say that Jakob Patel, not been a great international trophy for the driver currently leading the Euro Trophy standings. It's been an even worse weekend for Patrick Donitsa, who is his main rival in that championships. Sam Knyoppers, last year's Grand Finals champion. Antoine Barbaroux, a perennial contender, both here and at the grand finals. Can he finally make that breakthrough on the big stage? This is a big stage, but the grand finals is the stage. Stan Pex. Well, what turn up at the book? Stan Pex, the SP Motorsport team boss, racing in DD2. He doesn't often race in Rotax, but he's here, and it would be a huge boost to the entire event to have, names like Pex racing at the grand finals. Here we go. Well, doesn't matter how big your name is, even though Pex has only got 3 letters in his surname, but you get what I mean. It's a big name, even if it's only got 3 letters in it. But no matter how big your name is, you've still got to earn your ticket. No freebies, no giveaways. Everything at the grand finals must be earned.
Allez, cette fois, ça semble être bien composé, cette grille. On va réaccélérer progressivement. Et Stan Pex qui donne le coup d'envoi. Ça y est, cette fois, c'est fait pour cette catégorie des D2 qui s'élance avec Stan Pex, donc le poleman qui ouvre la marche avec dans son sillage Antoine Barbaroux. Antoine Barbaroux qui s'est faufilé depuis la 3e position et qui a réussi à grappiller une place pour s'installer dans le sillage du leader.
Yep, a clean start by all the main players, and in fact, looking down the order, you've got 34 drivers, all safely through the first 6-7 corners, and the leaders already coming off the banking. Pex in front of Barbaroux. Barbaroux for the RM Concept team already searching for a way past the Dutchman for SP Motorsport. He tries the crossover, and Stan Pex is like, son, I've been stopping drivers who are doing crossovers from me since you were in short pants. And Barbaroux is thinking, okay, I have been overtaking drivers here at Le Mans since I was in short pants. So it's going to be a good battle of the minds here at the front with Jakob Bazel sitting, watching, waiting in third. Then it is Knoppers and Ball. And here comes Jakob Bazel round the outside of Barbaroux for second position. That was, well, it was the first Slim Shady of the day, and it's Bazel up to P2. Jakob Bazel's tactics usually at the start of the race is defend, 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 back everyone up, and then clear off and take the win. He cannot do that. He has got to try and attack Pex straight away.
Allez, Pex toujours leader, mais c'est désormais Bazel qui est en 2e position avec Barbaroux 3e. Barbaroux qui s'est fait attaquer juste avant la ligne droite du Technopark, mais qui a bien su réagir. Il avait perdu un peu le contact avec les 2 hommes de tête, mais finalement, il est bien revenu. Attention quand même derrière Antoine Barbaroux à Knoppes, qui est très pressant. Et Emils Hakems, le pilote autrichien, qui lui aussi est au contact. A priori, ça va se jouer entre ces 5 pilotes qui arrivent dans le banking. Attaque, ça vient de derrière là avec cette attaque donc, qui a été repoussée par Knoppes. Et Edgars qui prend un avertissement, le numéro 569. Avertissement donc. Et attention, Antoine Barbaroux là qui essayait de revenir sur Bezel, mais ça n'a pas fonctionné dans le pif-paf avant le dernier gauche qui ramène sur la ligne droite des stands. Et nouveau passage sur la ligne de chronométrage avec Pex qui se fait doubler à l'intérieur par Jakob Bezel et qui emmène Antoine Barbaroux avec lui dans son sillage. Barbaroux qui reprend la 2e position.
Well, Bezel finally, turns the screw and finds a way past Pex, as does Antoine Barbaroux. Now let's see how the tactics play out, because Bezel, it's normally down to setup. Bezel will be very defensive at the first half of the race, but that's when he's starting from pole. He was starting on the 3rd row, so I think maybe the team would have changed the pressures, because Jakob Bezel needed to attack and not defend on the first lap. And now Bezel is into the lead as you watch Pex, and that's actually his teammate Enzo Ball in the number 532 kart, who, as we watch now, there is a driver, one of the Frenchmen out of the race. Bezel, Barbarou, Pex, Ackmans, Ball, Nejem, Knoppers, Vilkans. The top 8, that's a star-studded top 8, followed by Dokuchi, Marcin, and Len Nice rounding out the top 10. Handke, Baccaglini, Jimenez, Desert, and Imke Arts, your top 15. And this is really, this DD2 entry is, a world-class entry. It's a grand finals worthy entry. Just the drivers that are here at the International Trophy, and that's before you bring in, the South Americans, the North Americans, and the Asians, and the Oceania-based drivers.
Allez, Peck qui se retournait dans la ligne droite, Pex qui se retournait dans la ligne droite, et il a bien fait parce que Emile Ackmans est passé devant lui au freinage du virage du Technopark. Stan Pex qui est donc désormais 4e. Et attention, parce que cette hiérarchie elle est vraiment tout à fait provisoire. Seuls Jakub Bezel et Antoine Barbarou semblent pour l'instant un petit peu hors de portée. Et il y a eu un accrochage. Ouais. Oh, il est sorti du kart. Et attention, le kart qui continue.
Yeah, marshals, we have got a situation on the circuit. There is a kart that has ejected its driver, and the kart's throttle is stuck open. Luckily, that kart stops before it goes backwards across turn number 1. Now, yellow flag is out on the circuit. Full course caution. This could be... Now, I'm looking down at the driver. We could have... we got a full course caution at the moment, and that's
red
what we
flag,
got. Now we don't. We've got a red flag. Red flag. There is the kart, and there, just the foreground, is the driver. Now, we will... Edgars Vilkans has had a problem. Is that Edgars Vilkans? It's either 569 or the 509.
Kylian Ferret
It's
et
either
Vilkans,
Kylian Ferret or Edgars Vilkans.
Yeah.
Now, the driver that was deposited in a Sodi kart race suit is sitting up and is getting up with, Alain Delcroix, the assistant race director, is with him, and it's a Sodi kart race suit. I think that might be Edgars Vilkans, It's Kylian Ferret and Edgars Vilkans, I think, have had either collision or they're two separate incidents. Let's have a little look. Now, Kylian Ferret, 509. That is Orlando. Okay, so it's Edgars Vilkans from Latvia, who was ejected from his kart. The kart's throttle stuck open and travelled up the circuit. The kart has now stopped and is being brought back. Edgars, and I know that there are lots of people in Latvia watching. So, Edgars, he started getting up and then thought, no, I want to lay down. He is with the race director and he is moving around. Luckily he's moving all extremities, so he's had the wind knocked out of him at the very least. But when a driver tends to be on the ground but is rolling around on the ground, that is much, much better than not rolling around at all. So, Edgars Vilkans with treatment. He has got Alain Delcroix with him. The ambulance has been dispatched, but, ladies and gentlemen watching at home, we're not showing the accident. We're not showing Vilkans. I can see him. He's laying on the grass, talking, hands in the air, moving around, and just thinking to himself, oh, that was a big one. And we will give you any further updates when we can. But yes, just to let you know that Vilkans is... He's not sitting up yet. He's talking. I think that must be his mechanic or even his dad who was there with him, telling him it's okay, calm down. But yeah, all arms and legs moving, which is all I can say, but that is positive. The ambulance is now with him. The medical team will assess him and go from there.
Voilà, donc interruption de la course suite à cet accident et ce pilote qui est sur le bord de la piste et qui est actuellement pris en charge par le service médical. Bien évidemment, on va attendre évidemment que la situation évolue favorablement. Visiblement, le pilote avait l'air de bouger par ses propres moyens. Et ça, c'est plutôt la bonne nouvelle. Il restait 3 minutes 20 à parcourir, plus le tour additionnel. Donc on va voir ce que va décider la direction de course, mais logiquement on va repartir bien évidemment, sachant que les manches se disputent sur 9 minutes plus un tour. Donc je pense qu'on n'était pas encore tout à fait à 75% de la distance parcourue, donc on devrait repartir, et on repartira évidemment pour le temps qu'il restait à parcourir, c'est-à-dire 3 minutes 20 plus un tour, et on repartira aussi dans l'ordre qui était établi au tour précédant la sortie du drapeau rouge.
Well, you're obviously looking at the carts that are in the race lined up in red flag formation. I am watching. It's not comical, but I will try and describe it as such. So you've got several marshals and Emil's, I think, mechanic or father with him. And there's a case of, right, move your left leg up. That moves. Yep, knee works, ankle works. He moves it. It's like, do the okey cokey. Then move your right knee up. Yep, that works. Okay, well, knee, ankle, leg, all working. Now move your right arm. And Emil moves his right arm and twists it round. Now your left arm. Okay, that all works. Tell you what, we're going to put you on the backboard and just get you into the ambulance as a very precaution. But incredible work by the safety team here. Edgar's Vilcans being put into the back of an ambulance, but, and again, I can stress this at home, ladies and gentlemen, all extremities moving, and Edgar's in full communication with everybody around him. But when you do get ejected from a kart, it is everyone's best interest to make sure that the drivers are just checked out cleanly and fully before they are released, because they have to be given permission. If you are in an accident, you get to an ambulance, you have to be signed off by the medical team before you are allowed to race again. So now Edgar's Vilcans is now in the back of an ambulance, and he is being taken back to the Parc Fermé. We will have a very short break to hear from some of our sponsors before we return to see whether this race gets a restart, is called, and what the procedure is going to be moving forward.
Voilà, la prise en charge.
Every team has an identity. Most kit doesn't show it. Wearscape custom teamwear. Your colors, your story, stitched into every piece. Performance kit on track, everyday wear off it. Wearscape, one team, one look.
Why do you come here? Is this your career?
Or is it all about fun? A chance to get away and leave it all behind?
Or do you chase your personal best? Challenging yourself over and over again. Why do you come here?
Maybe you're here to collect moments. Good ones. And not so good ones.
Or you can't afford mistakes because you want that victory. It's all about this one moment when the hard work finally pays off.
This is the place that brings us closer to the people who share our story. Whoever we are,
Whatever we're here for, racing is who we are.
Every team has an identity. Most kit doesn't show it. Wearscape custom teamwear. Your colors, your story, stitched into every piece. Performance kit on track, everyday wear off it. Wearscape, one team, one look.
come here? Is this your career?
Or is it all about fun? A chance to get away and leave it all behind?
Or do you chase your personal best? Challenging yourself over and over again. Why do you come here?
Maybe you're here to collect moments. Good ones. And not so good ones.
Or you can't afford mistakes because you want that victory. It's all about this one moment when the hard work finally pays off.
This is the place that brings us closer to the people who share our story. Whoever we are,
Whatever we're here for, racing is who we are.
Every team has an identity. Most kit doesn't show it. Wearscape Custom Teamwear. Your colors, your story, stitched into every piece. Performance kit on track, everyday wear off it. Wearscape, one team, one look.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the engines have been fired. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remained in the race. Now, when the race restarts, this is actually a racing lap. So the clock is running, because this is effectively, this would be a lap under full course caution. I was speaking to one of the officials last night saying that, you know, I wasn't sure about, you know, whether the clock starts when they take the restart, the green flag, or the yellow start, the yellow flag for the rolling lap. And it is the case that in the rules, this is the correct way to do things. A lot of promoters, a lot of organisers around the world think to themselves, well, okay, we will wait and take the green flag when they restart, and that's, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but the actual rule says that this is the correct way, because Jakob Butzel, Jakob Butzel can bring them round, and he is bringing them round very, very, very slowly indeed. We may only get 2 laps of racing, but this is part of the rules. Jakob can now bring the field round as slow as he can. The rules state you must come round at a moderate speed, and that is the worst thing to do. Moderate. What does moderate mean? It's a grey area. Drivers like it, and teams like it when things are black and white. There's no wiggle room. Because Bazel's thinking, this is moderate, and Barbaroo and everyone else thinking, no, it's not, this is slow. But they're the rules, and Jakob Butzel, as slow as he can, looking across. He's trying to look at the clock. He's trying to look at the clock on the start line to keep everything as slow as possible. There's going to be 2 laps to go. It could have been 3, it's going to be 2. The clock is down to 45 seconds, and still Bazel's not going to go. Jakob, you cannot crawl. Well, this is why we shouldn't have grey areas in regulations, because you end up with this. Jakob Butzel is quite entitled to do that. There's the green flag. Now we're up and running after the slowest lap in the history of karting. Butzel, with 30 seconds plus a lap to go, gets the jump and is away.
Voilà, une procédure de départ qui a été évidemment contrôlée de la tête et des épaules par Jakob Butzel, qui a le droit d'imprimer le rythme qu'il considère. Il faut simplement voir qu'il doit être un rythme mesuré, dirons-nous. Là, c'était plus que mesuré. Il risquait pas d'y avoir de sortie de piste. Et de fait, eh bien, il a joué avec la montre pour ne s'offrir qu'un seul tour de course réellement, puisque lorsqu'il va repasser sur la ligne de chronométrage, eh bien, ce sera le dernier tour dans quelques instants. Et derrière, évidemment, ça se chamaille pour grappiller les places, parce que c'est le dernier tour dans quelques instants. Jakob Butzel qui va donc passer sur la ligne de chronométrage. Voilà qui est fait.
Well, they cross the line to start the final lap. Butzel leading Barbaroo by. Now, why is Jakob Butzel not appearing on the timing and scoring screen? Has Jakob Butzel's transponder had some form of issue? Barbaroo, second, closing in. Everyone else way, way behind because of Jakob Butzel getting the jump at the start. Out the bank, there's the 5.56 kart. Len Nice up into 8th position behind Alvaro Jimenez. We're watching. That is that Pex in 3rd? Yes, it is. Pex, here comes Matthias de Gem. Oh, last of the late breakers for Matthias de Gem. That's a bit of a Matthias de Gem speciality this week. But as they come out, there is the checkered flag. And, well, it says Antoine Barbaroo. Jakob Butzel, obviously his transponder just didn't pick up. Butzel wins from Barbaroo. Najem, Pex, Ackmans, Baccaglini, Handke, Jimenez, Nice, and the rest of the field. Dolchicki, Marcin, Enzo Ball, Imke Arts, Gavin Desert, William Christensen, Tristan Rennie, and Daniel Carmona.
Voilà, fin de course un peu Un peu tronqué, bien évidemment, un peu bizarre, mais on s'y attendait, hein, puisque vu le temps qu'il restait à parcourir, on savait que ça serait une course très très courte. Mais là, sincèrement, du côté de Basel, on a joué, Jacob Basel qui a joué au maximum sur les limites du règlement pour faire ce tour de la façon la plus lente possible, parce qu'il l'a mis ensuite à l'abri. Antoine Barbarou, lui, a terminé deuxième, et derrière c'est Mathias Enjaim qui a réussi à prendre le meilleur sur Stanpex au freinage du virage du Technopark. Voilà les pilotes qui sont en train de rentrer maintenant du côté du paddock, et dans quelques instants eh bien, on va vous permettre de revoir entre guillemets les meilleurs moments de cette course, avec notamment ce restart qui restera forcément dans les annales.
Mark Kimber, just before you get in the go-kart, nice to see you back on the grid in the DD2.
Yeah, it's good to be back with Dams as well. They've done an incredible job for me, so credit to them. Speed is definitely there. Just fingers crossed for another good one.
You've got some good guys in front of you.
Yeah, no, the racing is hard in this class. It always is. So mistake from my side in the qualifying is why we're starting not quite where we want to be, but two good results, so far. So let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going. I just want to say to everyone watching, if they don't know, the only driver in the world to win the grand finals in 3 classes, junior, senior and DD2.
Yeah.
It's been a good one.
Yeah, good achievement.
Yeah. Great achievement. Good to have him back on the grid. Mark Kimber with Dams this weekend, normally working as a driver coach and whatever else the team needs, but also a driver that is confident enough to admit, I made a little mistake in the qualifying, but he's still starting on the 4th row.
Yes, and Mark Kimber, he knows his way around Portimao, and the only grand finals he's been to as a DD2 driver, you will remember this, Jen, he went undefeated in Portimao. So if Kimber gets a ticket, the rest of the DD2 world can, well, they've been put on notice, shall we say. Here we go then. On to the track. This is the last DD2 heat. And we will be able to give you the full, well, the provisional starting lineup for the front of the Super Heats tomorrow. But here we go. San Marino's Alessandro Pedini Amati and Patrick Dorica from Belgium, from Poland. Then it's Giorgio Amati and Noah Hipp, Will Ellswood and David Mastiakevich, Mark Kimber and Wout Kirstjens, followed by Hugo Dupont and Marco Parina, Leon Mandel and Matthew Ferrer, Stephen Savant, Tom Vuo, Bendiguez Sabo and William Norbach. Then you have Marquez, Tarotin, Hashisho, Hamza Hashisho starting on the 10th row of the grid. Hassan Hashisho watching with Jeffrey the Towel. He would be running around his living room, but he just sent me a photo of his living room. And there are 2 DD2 carts sat in Hassan Hashisho's living room, which I think is a very good way. Who needs TV when you can just look at go-karts all night? Donat Nemetvolgi from Hungary is in 20th. Then it's Siegel, Quies Verdu, McGivelray, Adolf, Guillaume, Favri, Ulrichs, Mitchell, Messiah, Linden, Mohamed Ben Amour, Nave, and Gelé into the pits S's. The 550, that very distinctive Infinity Racing kart for Alessandro Pedina Amati and Giorgio Amati, his teammate, but not countryman, because Pedina Amati is from San Marino, representing San Marino, and Amati is from Italy. Friendly neighbours.
Allez, cette course DD2, la dernière de cette journée, puisque cet après-midi sera consacré aux seniors et aux juniors, avec Alessandro Pedini Amati qui donne le ton et qui va s'élancer. Voilà qui est fait. Pedino Amati, le 550, qui va conserver, semble-t-il, le leadership, bien protégé également par son coéquipier juste derrière lui, Giorgio Amati. Oula!
Oh, Will Ellswood's gone for a spin. Ellswood somehow doesn't get collected. Behind him, 2 drivers also getting involved. The 527 and the 555. That would be Stephen Savant and Marco Parina. Oh, Stephen Savant, who has lost his rear bumper on several occasions in several big races this year, and now he has a problem at turn number 1.
Voilà, Steven Servant qui a été pris dans l'accrochage du premier virage. Ça va évidemment compliquer sa course. Lui qui était positionné 13e sur la grille, malheureusement, ça va être compliqué de réaliser un bon résultat. Mais sait-on jamais. On a vu tout à l'heure Théo Polican remonter de la 19e à la 3e place de la course. Donc pourquoi pas. Allez, ça chauffe là derrière, notamment avec le 540, me semble-t-il. Ouais, c'est Bengduz Sabo qui essaye de se frayer un chemin dans le peloton. Mais ça semble un petit peu plus compliqué que prévu. Pendant ce temps-là, eh bien, Alessandro Pedini Amati est installé aux commandes avec derrière lui eh bien, Mark Kimber en 2e position.
Well, Mark Kimber, by virtue of moving into P2, actually moves into P1 in points. As we're looking further back, there is the recovering Giorgio Amati in kart number 548, who's been pushed back a little bit. He is now just in front of Johnny Bravo with a black crash helmet, David Mastiakevich. In front of him, we saw this Leon Mandel for Austria, and Leon Mandel made a great 3-wide move. But at the moment, Kimber, who runs second in this race, has 132 points. That would put him on pole position for Superheat A. Barbaroo would be on pole position for Superheat B. Stan Pex would start on the outside of row number 1 for Superheat A. And Matthias de Gem would start on the outside of row number 1 for Superheat B, as things stand. Pedina Amati is not in the top 8 at the moment in points. Giorgio Amati is in the top 8. He is 6th overall, ahead of Jakob Patel and Edgars Vilkans in the points standings, provisionally as things run on track.
Allez, pour l'instant, pas de changement en haut de la hiérarchie avec toujours Alessandro Pedini Amati. Oh, alors qu'il y a une...
Oh, that's Will Ellswood out of the race, and that is a very badly damaged Craft Motorsports kart. We saw Will Ellswood spinning at the first corner, and I'm not sure if that is a legacy of that, because he was down at the back and on his own. So Ellswood out of the race.
Alors, on l'a vu avec ce pilote qui était contraint à l'abandon avec un kart largement endommagé. On retrouve donc Alessandro Pedini Amati en tête avec dans son sillage toujours Mark Kimber. Patrick Donica est en 3e position et Hugo Dupont est un brillant 4e pour l'instant. Mais attention, Hugo Dupont, il va être pris en chasse par le groupe qui arrive derrière lui. Il a déjà Liam Mendel dans son sillage qui commence à lui mettre la pression. Et derrière Mendel, on retrouve Noah Hip, Giorgio Amati et Maslakiewicz qui sont eux aussi lancés à la poursuite des deux pilotes qui sont devant eux. Allons-nous assister à un regroupement de tout ce beau petit monde du côté à partir de la 4e position. On va voir ça. Mais en tout cas, c'est assez intense. Et pour Hugo Dupont, ça va pas être simple.
Into the virage to Technopark corner, now around Pitts Bend. We're watching Giorgio Amati in kart 548, chasing Noah Hip and Hugo Dupont. Up front, Mark Kimber has caught Alessandro Pedini Amati. Can the Jan Darms driver do anything about the race leader? The answer is, of course he can. Turn 3, mirror signal maneuver. Mark Kimber leads this race. Patrick Donitsa into 3rd position, closing in on the top 2. We got a 3-kart battle for the race lead. Kimber admitted that he made a mistake in qualifying. He says that in his interview just then that Jan Darms provided him with a very, very good piece of kit. And Mark Kimber has done even though we don't see him racing that much anymore, he is in the kart coaching all the time. He is coaching Eason Seng amongst a number of other drivers, and so he's not got any ring rust in terms of driving, but I think qualifying was caught him out. I did ask Mark, when was the last time that you raced at ED2? And he was like, yeah, Portimao, 2022. Grand finals. So it just shows that and I class Mark Kimber as one of the very best in karting, and he has a reputation as being one of the very, very best in all of karting, and that is why 4 years out of the seat in this particular class against the best field you'll find anywhere in the world apart from the grand finals, and he is already pulling away. And he says he's not even a massive, massive fan of the Le Mans circuit. He says, my favourite track is Portimao. Oh dear, that's worrying for everybody else. Donitsa into 2nd, Pedini Amati down to 3rd, Mandel all on his own in 4th position, and a big gap back to the 5th place scrap, which is here. That is Noah Hip, David Maciejewicz, Wout Kirstjens and Matthew Ferry. So we've lost a couple of drivers. Bo Ulrichs has retired. Technical flag coming out for number 542, and the technical flag would be for Hugo Dupont. Hugo Dupont, who was running well, is now no longer running at all.
Nouveau passage sur la ligne de chronométrage pour Mark Kimber, qui est largement et confortablement installé, enfin largement, il est aux commandes de la course. Pour l'instant, personne n'arrive à revenir sur le pilote britannique. Patrick Donica, le pilote polonais, essaye tant bien que mal, mais c'est pas simple puisque derrière il y a Alessandro Pedini Amati qui met aussi la pression. Donc entre attaque et défense, pour l'instant, eh bien, le pilote polonais a choisi la défense. Hugo Dupont malheureusement a glissé dans le classement, il est en 18e position. Et a priori, il s'est même arrêté suite à la décision de la direction de course de lui présenter le drapeau noir à rond orange. Et de fait, eh bien, Noah Hip a perdu également des places dans le groupe de poursuivants. Et c'est pour l'instant sur la ligne de chronométrage. En tout cas, c'était Mathieu Ferré, le pilote tricolore le mieux placé à la 7e position, juste devant Noah, justement. Allez, les voici qui repassent. Il reste encore 2 tours à parcourir. Mathieu Ferré, Noah Hip, toujours 7e et 8e.
45 seconds to go. Kimber leads by half a second. We're watching the rest of the field flood across the start-finish line. Now we head back to the race leaders. They come out of Curve des Duchamps through turn number 5, into turn 6, and then turn 7. Round turn number 8, on to the banking. Turn number 9, off the banking through 10. And now 11, on to the Technopark straight. Donitsa and Padini Amati will not catch the flying Brummie. Mark Kimber, clock strikes 0. Leon Mandel has caught the lead group, so 2 of the Birrell Art by KSB drivers up in the top 4. There's the Infinity Machine of Padini Amati, but Kimber for Jan Darms Racing makes his way through turn number 3 into Curve des Duchamps, turn number 4. Around the left-hander at turn 5. Now the S's, 6 and 7. Then at turn 8, into the banking again. The driver under pressure here on the final lap, Eric, is possibly Patrick Donitsa. Let's have a look. Can anybody make a move down the Virage of Technopark or straight into Virage of Technopark? The answer is no. Kimber will emerge victorious and provisionally take pole position for Superheat A. Great return for Mark Kimber.
Voilà, c'en est terminé de cette course DD2 avec la victoire nette et sans bavure de Mark Kimber qui s'impose devant Patrick Donica et Alessandro Pedini Amati. Leon Mendel est 4e, Mazlakiewicz 5e, Kurt Schunz est 6e, Mathieu Ferré termine 7e devant Noah Hip, Marquez est 9e et Giorgio Amati 10e. Avec cette victoire de manche, eh bien Mark Kimber s'installe en haut de la hiérarchie de ce classement DD2, ce qui devrait lui valoir eh bien, de s'élancer en pole position pour l'une des 2 super manches de demain. L'autre pole position devrait revenir à Antoine Barbarou qui est 2e au classement intermédiaire. Voilà donc pour le point complet dans cette catégorie DD2 qui vient eh bien, de réaliser sa dernière course de la journée, puisque dans quelques instants on va poursuivre le déroulé de cette matinée, mais que cet après-midi eh bien, on ne retrouvera que des manches qualificatives pour la catégorie senior et pour la catégorie junior. Voilà donc dans quelques instants, après les meilleurs moments, après les highlights, on va retrouver la catégorie mini. À tout de suite.
Looking out the grid, I'm not going to go on the grid because they're about to get the green flag, but we have one driver from Montenegro, and I'm looking at the starting grid, also one driver from Croatia. Now I think, Henry, this is going to be probably the best result for a driver from Montenegro at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Nikola Radetić qualifying 8th and Stevan Pejovic qualifying 11th for Montenegro. And the Croatian driver that you mentioned, Ivan Janicjevic, in the top 10. So
fantastic.
It's absolutely fantastic. Great to see emerging nations in terms of karting competing at the front. Now this is the clutch. I know that we're now a little bit behind schedule, so your grid interviews, you know, they're obviously not waiting too much on the grid. Here's your starting lineup. What I'm from Austin Oman and Josh Cook on row 8 on back. So the top 7 rows, all those drivers did great in qualifying. Oh no, there's the number 144. That is Suleiman Sem Karakmur, who was starting on the 2nd row of the grid. He won't be starting there anymore. But from row 8 on back, those are the drivers that didn't get the full qualifying session in. And in heat number 2 yesterday, there was a situation going into turn number 1 where I'm not going to name names because I don't know, but a lot of the drivers that missed qualifying, starting out the position, the front 7 rows of the grid, half those rows ended up in the gravel.
Et malheureusement, hein, la mauvaise nouvelle, c'est que du côté de Suleiman Karakomour, eh bien malheureusement, ça ne partira pas. Le numéro 144 qui était en 2e ligne, malheureusement, ne pourra pas prendre le départ de cette course qui est lancée avec Paul Plattner-Geramb qui est aux commandes. Le numéro 193.
Oh, there's been a big turn. It's happened again. Before we get to turn number 1, you can see karts on the outside. Somebody got turned round on the straight. And I'm not blaming anyone and I'm not criticising, you know, any one driver. But the 14 drivers that qualified, yes, you have got Ayrton Galsworthy, Gabriel Wallet, Michael Krnajic, Pojovic, Gergic, Janicjevic, Radetić. Those are the drivers that would traditionally be a little bit further back, but they got their qualifying session right. And all the big teams who got their qualifying session wrong, you know, they will get past these drivers eventually, but they, you know, for whatever reason, we've had drivers getting shoveled out of the race before we've even got started. Here comes Corey Lyons. Let's think about something positive. Lyons has the race lead. And I'm looking down, who were the unfortunate drivers? Well, there we go. Stevan Pejovic, who did everything right, qualified in the top 12, gets absolutely sent to the outside by drivers 4, 5, 6, 7 rows back who are still peed off. They messed up their own qualifying session. And it's not right. Sorry, but it's not. And luckily, so there we go. Ayrton Galsworthy also down in the space of 1 lap from 14th to 33rd. And that wasn't Ayrton's doing. That was somebody else in a hurry because their team messed up and they've now been told, you've got to go, you've got to go. And the poor kids who did everything right on Wednesday night have their races ruined again.
Allez, dans cette catégorie mini, eh bien c'est Corey Lyons qui pour l'instant est aux commandes, le numéro 141 devant Plattner-Geramb qui s'est lancé depuis la pole position et Robin Raikkonen pour l'instant toujours en 3e position, le numéro 191 avec Ralph Martin quatrième pour l'instant. C'est l'état du peloton. Il y a un peloton qui est un petit peu disparate là sur ce début de course, puisque aux essais chronométrés, bien, il y a eu des tactiques qui n'ont pas pu être mises en place et certains pilotes, certaines têtes d'affiche entre guillemets, n'ont pas pu s'exprimer et du coup se sont retrouvés un petit peu à l'arrière de cette grille de la catégorie mini, et donc forcément ils sont contraints de cravacher pour remonter, et c'est pas simple dans un peloton très fourni comme cette catégorie mini le propose, mais pour l'heure on va dire que cela ne concerne pas Corey Lyons qui est aux commandes et qui pour l'instant résiste à la pression de Gerhard Plattner deuxième et Robin Raikkonen en deuxième position désormais.
So, change. Robin Raikkonen, the number 191 for Kart Shop Switzerland, moves into P2. At the moment, Corey Lyons would start the superheat from pole position. Although that was when Corey was running second, now the situation might have changed because Lyons is back to third. Let's have a look. Paul Plattner, Robin Raikkonen, Corey Lyons. Plattner now has pole position provisionally for the superheat, but he gets passed going in to turn number one by Robin Raikkonen. Raikkonen currently sixth on the grid for the pre-final. Josh Cook and Charlie Page are looking good. Page is currently in eighth and Cook is currently, let's have a look, where's Josh Cook? He is seventh. They are on Cook on 117 points, Page on 116, Lyons on 109, Plattner Jerram in second place at the moment. He is on 118 points. So every position that changes hands on track is going to have a direct effect on the front two rows of the grid for the superheats tomorrow. Robin Raikkonen leads across the line. Plattner Jerram second, and Robin Raikkonen's pass on Paul Plattner Jerram has just promoted Josh Cook and Charlie Page onto the front row of the grid for the pre-final, the superheat rather.
Robin Raikkonen qui a pris les commandes de l'épreuve avec dans son sillage Plattner Gerhard qui essaye de reprendre son leadership, mais pour l'instant Robin Raikkonen résiste plus que mieux et il impose son rythme pour l'instant. Il reste 2 minutes 20 dans cette épreuve. Voilà, il se retourne dans la ligne droite du Technopark pour voir où est son adversaire direct. Il n'y aura pas d'attaque dans ce tour-là. Et en troisième position, on retrouve Corey Lyons avec dans son sillage Ralph Martin. Voilà les deux pilotes qui tentent de revenir sur le duo de tête. Il reste désormais 2 minutes à parcourir dans le temps réglementaire plus le tour additionnel.
In turn number one, Raikkonen has the advantage at the moment. Plattner Jerram is right there. Corey Lyons on that wonderfully liveried. It's a sort of a midnight blue. It's a chrome midnight blue colour with the same crash helmet design. That's the Daily Motorsport team. They're not here this week, so Corey Lyons is pitting with the X-Kart team. And Lyons and his dad Keith are having a tremendous week, possibly a career-making week for this young Irishman in third position, because he is in very, very exalted company at the front. Robin Raikkonen, Paul Plattner Gerhard. Behind him, Ralph Martin for Strawberry Racing. And this is good. Timon Gergic and Ralph Martin, they got their qualifying sessions right, along with, the top 5 in the race are the remaining 5 drivers at the front that got qualifying right. Then you've got the people charging up from the rear. You've got Cook 6th, Page 7th, Behrman 8th, Singh Pahal 9th, Oman 10th. Jan Wozniak has survived a little bit and is 11th after starting on the third row of the grid. LBJ Stubbs is up from 30th to 12th. Teddy Murphy from 36. That's a move. Teddy Murphy. Come on, Teddy. He is up from 36th to 13th. Pieter, Likabo Lingzo, Otis Cleary, Meredith, and then Kranjacic, Garrett, and Arthur Farrow. Unfortunately, Ivan Janicevic, the Croatian driver, down to 24th. Unfortunately, Ayrton Galsworthy down to 28th. Gabriel Wallet is down to 29th. And the two Montenegrin drivers, Pejovic is out of the race, and Radetic has been pushed back from 8th to 30th.
Allez, on peut suivre là la belle bagarre entre Joshua Cook et Charlie Page, entre le 175 et le 114 qui se rendent coup pour coup. Et derrière, on attend les opportunités et on en profite, comme ici avec Sébastien Bierman, le numéro 137, qui vient de s'immiscer entre les deux protagonistes britanniques. Là, on a un quatuor de pilotes britanniques qui s'explique de façon assez conséquente et assez intense, c'est le moins que l'on puisse dire. Allez, Ralph Martin, 4e, qui est un petit peu en dehors de toute cette pression et de toute cette agitation. Et on est rentré dans le dernier tour. Nous sommes dans le dernier tour avec toujours Robin Raikkonen, me semble-t-il, le numéro 191. Oui, c'est lui qui est aux commandes. Et pour l'instant, Platner Gerhamb n'a rien pu faire pour revenir sur Robin Raikkonen. Corey Lyons, lui, est bien parti. Oh, attention, attaque au virage du banking. Et c'est un petit peu plus loin. C'est Joshua Cook qui est passé. Donc on se dirige vers une victoire, semble-t-il, dans le dernier virage. Voilà pour Robin Raikkonen qui va aller chercher donc cette victoire devant Platner Gerrans et Corey Lyons.
Great drive from Robin Raikkonen and Paul Platner-Jerram, and an even better one from Corey Lyons. Lyons, check this, Ireland. Your man will start P5 for the superheat. Corey Lyons, Raikkonen will start P6, and Paul Platner-Jerram will start P4. But as the rest of the field cross the line, with Ralph Martin finishing 4th, Austin Oman finishing in 5th position, Timon Grgic. Great to see the Praga kart of Slovenia's Timon Grgic driving for the SSC Sports Still team. Grgic is there in 8th. 9th was Dian Singh Pahal, and rounding out your top 10, Sebastian Behrman. Provisionally, it's going to be Josh Cook, Austin Oman on row 1 for the superheat, Charlie Page and Paul Platner-Jerram on row 2, Corey Lyons and Robin Raikkonen on row 3, Dian Singh Pahal and Jan Wozniak on row 4, as we look back at some of the highlights. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are enjoying the Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy in Europe from here at Le Mans, then you're going to love what's coming up on October the 6th to the 10th, because the International Trophy South America takes place for the very first time in Uruguay. Over 260 drivers already entered, 6 tickets to the grand finals available. I'll be there. I cannot wait to go to Uruguay for the very first time. A big thank you to Nicholas Alagia from RMC Uruguay for making that happen. And the International Trophy South America, it's grown over the last 3 or 4 years. It is, well, there's about 350 drivers here. There's about 260 to 280 generally entered in South America. The competition down there is intense. And then the first tickets for the 2027 Rotax Grand Finals will be handed out at the RMC International Trophy in Asia. It will take place at the Koloane International Circuit right in the center of Macau. If you have not been to Macau, I would urge you to go. It is an incredible country. The circuit is right in the city center. As in, you go down to turn 2 at the Macau circuit, and there are people in their high-rise block of flats literally looking down on you, waving. It is a track that is very, very unique. And the International Trophy Asia, that will be on January the 21st to the 24th, 2027. For those people looking for arrive and race packages, well, firstly, go to rotax-racing.com and at Rotax Karting to find out the dates and information, and then a DM or two, and they will put you in touch with the promoters who can then guide you to some of the big teams that have got complete arrive and race packages for both International Trophy South America and International Trophy Asia. Next up will be the DD2 Masters. Here's your starting lineup then for the third and final DD2 Masters heat. Jack Dex and Gabriel Zugella on row number 1. Zugella will be in action at the International Trophy South America, which is open to drivers across the world, not just South Americans. Gabi already has his ticket to the grand finals because he won the Rotax Winter Trophy, which is held over 2 weekends, end of January, beginning of February in the United States. Alex Fielenbach and Nicholas Clay, row 2. Maurice Knopper, the reigning E20 Masters champion, and Maxime Gravaway. Jerome Schwab and Alexandra Gravaway. Ricardo Romkima and Charles Sagan. Antoine Antier, Vivian Cusack-Pico, Gustavo Mikkelsen, Christophe Capitan, Harold Watson, Roman Monge, then Jimmy Chumier and Jamie Billings. Vermeulen, Gutai, Pertot, Jensen, Chen Hun Lee, Mavro Mikelkis, Ron Billings, Gary Chu, and Jan Bonzanok. Jack Dex currently leads the point standings with 94 points over Nicholas Clay. Dex and Clay have shared the heat wins. Gabi Zugella is 6th in points. The Gravaway siblings are 3rd and 4th. Maxime ahead of Alexander. Here we go. The Masters, age 32 and above, 2-speed karts into the tram lines. We are racing.
Et Jack Dex qui essaye de maintenir sa position de pointe en repoussant un petit peu sur l'extérieur Gabriel Zugela. Ça y est, c'est passé pour le premier virage pour Jack Dex qui conserve le leadership avec Zugela dans son sillage. Derrière, c'est un petit peu plus confus, il y a un petit peu plus de bagarre, notamment du côté de Maxime et Alexandre Gravouille qui sont partis depuis la 6e et la 8e position. On va voir ce que ça va donner du côté de Maxime et Alexandre. Pour l'instant, en vol parfait pour le Britannique Jack Dex qui mène la danse dans ce premier tour.
Oh, problems up at the bank. You just saw it at the tail end of the camera shot there. And there are one driver is parked on the banking, walking away from his cart. Another driver is parked on the grass. We'll catch up on the numbers. It was Steve Vermeulen and I think Jan Vonsenok were two of the drivers involved. Antoine Antier also getting involved, and the back of the field, the 643, the Danish driver Morten Jensen, the Gold Kart Denmark team, involved in that little melee. But up at the front, it's Dex versus Zugela versus Fielenbach. Your top three, Nicholas Clay in fourth, and there, getting out of a somewhat forlorn-looking Sheepers Racing kart is Steve Vermeulen. Having a look down, and very kindly, he thinks, I'm going to move that. But we got a battle on for the race lead. Gabi Zugela is closing in, and Jack Dex has to start defending now. Across the line, Zugela hunting Jack Dex. Also, the Craft Motorsport, number 631 of Alex Fielenbach is also there. Then the 602, Nicholas Clay of Belgium. Maxime Gravaway is the first. And Zugela trying to get creative around the outside of turn number 3. Jack Dex has none of it. The fact that Dex has to defend means the lead group will get bigger and bigger and bigger until something, when a bubble gets bigger and bigger and bigger, eventually it pops.
Allez, deux pilotes qui tentent de s'échapper maintenant avec Zugela qui a pris les commandes de la course. Mais est-ce que c'est provisoire ou est-ce que c'est définitif? Rien n'est moins sûr puisque Jack Dex vient de reprendre le leadership sur Zugela dans la ligne droite du Technopark. Les deux pilotes qui ont creusé un léger écart. Et derrière, c'est Fielenbach qui tente, le pilote allemand, qui tente de revenir sur le duo de tête et il emmène dans son sillage du beau monde avec Nicolas Claes et Maxime et Antoine Gravouille et Alexandre, Maxime et Alexandre Gravouille qui sont bien positionnés en 5e et 6e position. On va voir si tout ce petit monde va pouvoir se regrouper. Ça semble être le cas. En tout cas, c'est la tendance qui se dégage au moment où le peloton arrive du côté du virage du banking.
Out of the banking, here we go. Dex, Zugela, Fielenbach. The top group has now been thinned ever so slightly to 3 drivers, although Nicholas Clay, Maxime Gravaway, and etc. are all still very close in contact with the 3 leaders. There they go, flashing across the front of the packed pit lane and the very, very busy roof of the garages here at Le Mans. Dex, Zugela, and Fielenbach. 5 minutes to go. And this has, more of a feel to, at the front at least. You're looking further back in the pack. There goes one of the Billings. That was Jamie Billings, who is up into P15. Andy Stapley looking after the Billings brother, the father and son duo, Ron and Jamie Billings. It's a bit of a shame. Well, not a bit of a shame. It's great to see Andy Stapley, but Steve Stapley, Andy's brother, was looking after Billings last year. And if you want an interview that keeps the producers of a live stream on their toes, just go and interview Steve Stapley, who spent a lifetime in karting, but always has a quote that sometimes isn't as printable as live stream producers would like, but he's very entertaining.
Jack Dex est toujours aux commandes alors que derrière, pour la 4e position, Maxime Gravouille a pris le meilleur sur Nicolas Claes qui, et en prenant le meilleur, lui a fait signe, allez maintenant on roule, on y va, on tente de faire la jonction parce qu'effectivement, visuellement parlant, Maxime Gravouille est plus rapide en tout cas que le pilote belge, oui, pardon, Nicolas Claes qui est désormais 5e et qui va donc laisser Maxime Gravouille donner le rythme au peloton de chasse pour tenter de revenir sur le trio qui a quand même une avance assez conséquente. Hein. On est quasiment à une seconde et demie d'avance pour ce trio de tête, toujours emmené, me semble-t-il, oui, c'est le cas, par Jack Dex.
Yep, Dex still in front. Zugella watching, and now this is good news for Jack Dex. If this was the final tomorrow, then Jack Dex would be, well, he'd be sitting pretty because he's thinking, okay, I'm leading, I win, I get a ticket. I come second to a driver who's already got a ticket, yeah, I still get a ticket. Feeling back will be like, but Jack, you have forgotten one thing. I have many German wafts in my motor from Kraft Motorsport. Oh, there's the second of the MS karts in this race. Now out of the race, Jerome Schwab in the 605. Now he's walking away. He's taken one glove off, which tells me that he might have had some sort of issue with another kart driving over said glove, and he's hand is a little bit tender right now. Oh, Ron Billings, technical flag for Ron Billings, and I'm just looking down to see where his rear bumper is working loose, so Ron Billings out of the race. Oh, Chen Hui Lee has retired the number 697 kart, so we've got only one driver now from Taiwan, Gary Chu, who is in 23rd place, still running. Behind Morten Jensen, behind Olympios Mavro Mikelkis, behind Harold Watson, behind Antoine Antier, Andro Pertot, Peter Goitai in 60th. Jamie Billings up into 14th place. Jamie Billings is just behind Ricardo Romkima. Ricardo Romkima, if my memory serves me correctly, was a podium finisher at the Grand Finals many moons ago. So Jamie Billings doing extremely well.
Allez, ça s'est regroupé en haut de la hiérarchie avec Maxime Gravouille qui est revenu dans le trio de tête, et désormais on a 4 pilotes roue dans roue, alors que derrière, Nicolas Claes, lui, a pris un petit peu ses distances sur ses poursuivants, et il va tenter pourquoi pas de revenir lui aussi sur désormais le quatuor de tête. Ça sera peut-être un petit peu moins simple parce que on l'a vu, depuis que Maxime Gravouille a pris le meilleur sur le pilote belge, lui est rentré sur le trio de tête, alors que le pilote belge malheureusement a du mal à combler les derniers mètres. Allez, c'est un nouveau passage à moins de 48 secondes du terme de l'épreuve, avec Jack Dex devant toujours Zugella et Fillenbach, et Gravouille qui est toujours 4e. Mais à mon avis, on n'a pas tout vu de la part de Maxime Gravouille, qui va évidemment tenter d'aller améliorer son score, lui qui pour l'instant pointe dans le top 3 du classement provisoire de cette catégorie DD2 Master. Il reste 23 secondes, c'est-à-dire que lorsque les pilotes vont repasser sur la ligne de chronométrage, ils entreront dans leur dernier tour de course.
15 seconds to go. Jack Dex gets it wrong going on the banking. Jack Dex, he missed a shift. He got his line wrong. Zugella picks up a Christmas present there from Jack Dex, and now Dex is in trouble because here comes Fielenbach. Oh, Fielenbach hits the grass. This is all kicking off, and look who's coming through into second place. It's Maxime Gravouille, who will start the last lap with a chance of victory. I don't know what happened to Jack Dex. He got into the banking, okay? Did the cart just slip into neutral or something like that? Now Zugella having to defend from Gravouille. Dex in third. Nicholas Clay is fourth, with Fielenbach down to fifth and Alexander Gravouille in sixth. Can Argentina and Gabi Zugella hang on here? Half a lap to go. Zugella looking strong, gets around the banking cleanly. That's where it all went wrong for Jack Dex a lap ago, but Dex is still there in third. But here comes Zugella, head down on his way to victory.
Allez, c'est le dernier passage dans le dernier secteur avec Zugela qui a pris le meilleur lorsque Jack Dex s'est un petit peu raté. Et bien Maxime Gravouille va terminer deuxième. Voilà, belle performance, belle course de Maxime Gravouille. Donc Zugela s'impose. Jack Dex termine finalement troisième. Fillenbach est quatrième. Nicolas Claes cinquième. Charles Seguin est revenu dans ce dernier tour pour prendre le meilleur en sixième position avec Vivien Cussac-Picot et Alexandre Gravouille. Donc un tir groupé des Français puisque derrière en neuvième position on retrouve le numéro 628 à savoir Christophe Capitaine qui complète ce beau tir groupé des pilotes tricolores et Knopus complète le top 10.
Well, there's a look at the results. Zugela, Gravaway, Dex, Fielenbach, Clay, Seguin, Cusac-Pico, Alexandra Gravaway, Capitan, Knoppers, Manger and Mickelson. As we look further down the order, well, Ricardo Romkema rolling back the years. In 13th position, Chaumier, Guitai, Billings, Pertot, Antier, Watson, Morton Jensen. Rounds out your top 20.
Well, I'm a little bit further down the grid, but I've spotted one of the young ladies, and Archie from India. How are you?
Hi.
Nice to see you. I saw you in the paddock, and I've been looking for you. Nice pink helmet as well. And I think there's a lot of people watching from India, isn't there?
Yeah.
There is. And you're here with your teammate. Where is he? What's your teammate's name?
So my teammate from SPR, I have quite a few.
There he is. Yep.
And then I think Albert Farrow, and I also have Alex and him.
Okay, so you got a few teammates on the grid. And who else is here from India? I can see him.
Bridget Pratap Singh Shekhawat.
There he is. He's looking. Hello. Hello. It's a long way from home.
Yeah, but I want to come here to get the ticket.
You want to come here to get the ticket? Maybe we got a little bit of work to do, but it's possible.
I messed up in the qualifying.
Oh, you messed up in the qualifying. What happened?
So I just went up alone. I went alone, and then I had no tow.
You didn't get a tow. Okay. But how's the racing?
It's going good.
What do you think about this? So many drivers, so many countries.
It's new.
Yeah. It is new. And what about in India? What's the racing like? Is it the same?
No, the competition's much less than here.
Mm-hmm. I think there's less competition with a lot of the national championships, but we're here in Le Mans. We're going to say good luck and hop off the grid.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi to everyone at home in India.
Allez, on a libéré de cette pré-grille les pilotes de cette catégorie micro, la dernière série de cette matinée et dernière fois qu'on les retrouve en piste avant les super hits de demain, puisque cet après-midi, on vous le rappelle, eh bien, elle sera consacrée aux manches qualificatives des catégories junior et senior. On reprendra après cette course, après la pause déjeuner, par les manches des seniors, puisqu'on les retrouvera ensuite 3 fois les seniors et 2 fois pour la catégorie junior cet après-midi. Allez, dans quelques instants, donc 8 minutes plus un tour dans cette catégorie micro avec Jayant Prakash qui sera le leader, le poleman de cette série, avec à ses côtés Freddy Baker. Juste derrière, on va retrouver Lenny Barton et Kian Hay pour cette composition de grille en ce qui concerne les deux premières lignes. Et attention, parce que vous le voyez, là encore, hein, il y a du monde, il y a des envies, il y a des ambitions. Et pour l'heure, c'est Prakash justement qui, au classement provisoire des points marqués, eh bien, est le leader et qui aurait donc toutes les chances de se retrouver demain en pôle s'il réalise une très belle dernière course aujourd'hui. Allez, dans quelques instants, le départ.
Into Pitts Bend, or the Pitts chicane. We're missing Adam Al-Sheikh from the grid. I've just seen Adam. He will be back tomorrow, bruised, confused and confused after an accident yesterday, but he will be back racing tomorrow. Here we go then, into the tram lines. We're also missing Wraith Owen and, the only Haas cart in the field. Jesse Moonen, the Belgian driver, doesn't get going and crawls to a stop as the field come out of turn number 2 down towards turn number 3. Keep your eyes peeled for the number 33 cart of Jensen Kelly. Jensen for the MLC Motorsport team. Well, he had an accident last night on his scooter and there's Jesse Moonen out of the race. Well, Jensen Kelly has been bandaged, reminded about the rules about scooters in the paddock, and has taken 10 years off his mum's life, but is still out there and racing. As we look at the race leaders coming into Virage de Technopark for the first time, Jayant Prakash is again just clearing off from the rest of the field. There comes the chasing pack, Arthur Bowers in the number 99 car. Lenny Barton is in P2. Lenny had a puncture yesterday, which he incurred at about this point when he vaulted over the curbs. And that didn't do his tyre beads any favours. And Barton, though, on a mission now in second with Albert Farrow in third. Schliever, Chech, Bowers, Baker, Chopra, Hanley and Gamble round out the top 10.
Allez, on est parti pour cette course. Je vous rappelle le format, 8 minutes, 1 minute de moins dans le temps réglementaire dans cette catégorie micro. Et pour l'instant, c'est Jayant Prakash toujours aux commandes et qui est, semble-t-il, bien parti pour dominer son sujet. Lenny Barton va tenter de revenir sur son compatriote alors qu'Albert Farah est en 3e position aux prises avec Benjamin Schliever, le numéro 78, et Jules Tchek, le premier pilote tricolore classé avec le kart numéro 4 étant 5e position, voilà, sur la ligne de chronométrage. Mais vous le voyez, ce groupe il est très compact et ça se dispute les positions tour après tour, virage après virage. Jules Tchek qui porte le numéro 4 dans ce groupe de chasse.
Well, the full grid, we had 31 karts take the start. Wraith Owen did not take the start. Jesse Moonen retired as they crossed the line. Adam Al-Sheikh is not racing today, but he'll be back tomorrow. And poor Marjan Djokic, Super Marjan Djokic from Montenegro, has had to withdraw after both his race and his second engine that he put down on his scrutineering cars failed. And I'm assuming that Mr. Djokic had an interesting conversation with his engine builder after they travelled all the way from Montenegro and they do qualifying and half of one heat race. Lenny Barton under pressure, because here comes Arthur Bowers. Bowers to the second position, runs a little bit wide, and you can now put Jules Schech into P2. The Frenchman side by side. Bowers doesn't give in, and Arthur Bowers, well, last year Arthur Bowers came to the International Trophy and he was just about 8 years old, and he's so tiny that his mum was carrying around, like, you know, one of the trolleys that you put your drinks and all this stuff in, and she was carrying around this trolley, and Arthur was asleep, curled up in the trolley. This year, he is awake and focused on maybe taking a ticket to the grand finals. But to do that, you have got to beat Jayan Prakash and the Sam Pollitt racing team. And so far in Micromax, nobody, and I mean nobody, has been able to come close to Jayan Prakash. Well, Barton is pushing Bowers up towards the front, and the number 92, the Richardson Chassis Engineering machine of Rotax Winter Trophy champion and grand final ticket holder, number 92, Freddie Baker in fourth place. Pharaoh, Schech, Caden Hanley, and Samar Chopra from the UAE into 8th place. Arlo Gamble runs 9th, and Schlevar runs 10th. Wraith Owen is out on track, but his transponder isn't working, so they're manually scoring Wraith Owen. And then in 12th position is Sebastian Crawford. Crawford is wearing, wait for it, ladies and gentlemen, he is wearing the first of the newly FIA homologated aero suits.
Allez, ça bouge dans le groupe de chasse, puisque Prakash lui semble hors d'atteinte. On a désormais Bowers qui est détaché et Jules Schech qui est remonté en 3e position. Le pilote français qui a profité de la passe d'armes, notamment entre Barton et Baker, et qui eh bien, a vu la porte s'ouvrir devant lui, et il s'y est engouffré, bien évidemment. On va suivre ça. Est-ce que le pilote français va pouvoir conserver cette 3e position, ce qui lui vaudrait, dans l'état actuel des choses, de terminer 2e du classement de cette catégorie micro, et donc de pouvoir s'élancer depuis la première ligne pour la super manche de demain. En tout cas, ça peut lui permettre de jouer un bon rôle dans les courses de demain. Attention, Jules Schech qui revient sur Arthur Bowers. Arthur Bowers qui se retourne, mais il y a aussi Lenny Barton derrière le français qui revient très très fort. Ouh là 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 là, derrière, c'est la guerre entre Baker, Henley, Chopra, Farah. C'est du grand spectacle, pourrait-on dire, et non pas du grand n'importe quoi. Ouais, c'est passé pour Jules Schech sur Arthur Bauer. Jules Schech qui a plongé à l'intérieur, Bauer un petit peu large, et qui eh bien du coup emmène le peloton de chasse. Vont-ils revenir sur Prakash? Il reste 1 minute 30 dans le temps additionnel plus le tour.
And I've got to say, Jules Schech keeping French hopes alive in Micromax. Kart number 4 for the KPR team. That's a Praga chassis that Schech is running. And Jules Schech, very quick indeed. Can he chase down Jayan Prakash? Well, look at that. He's passed Bowers and Barton, and he's pulled away from Bowers and Barton. Let's check the gap. We've got less than a minute to go. So it's not a long race. Here's the battle you were just describing, Eric. The two RCE teammates having a brief discussion with each other over the same piece of territory on track. There's Bowers, there's Barton. Good drive from Lenny Barton. Callum Hardgrave, his mechanic. Joe Bleakley, the mechanic for Arthur Bowers. They'll be happy with how their young drivers are performing. But Jayan Prakash just cruising away at the front again. Schech second. And we've got 30 seconds, so next time by, yes, it will be the last lap.
Allez, Jules Schech en 2e position, qui s'est lancé à la poursuite de Jayan Prakash et qui vient de signer 2 tours d'affilée, le record du tour en course, 1:00,481. c'est 4 dixièmes plus vite que le leader. Voilà pourquoi on peut peut-être un petit peu regretter hein, pour Jules Tchek qui a un petit peu, non pas raté, mais qui a été un petit peu malmené dans ce début de course parce qu'il avait peut-être les moyens et le rythme de s'accrocher à Jahan Prakash. En tout cas, ça lui permet pour l'instant de valider sa position sur la première ligne de la Supermanche pour demain. Mais attention, attention, parce que derrière, entre Bauer et Barton, on s'entend et on cède pour revenir sur le Français. Mais pour l'instant, eh bien, il fait plus que résister, Jules Tchek, puisqu'il reste en deuxième position et il a toujours 2-3 longueurs de châssis d'avance. Est-ce que ça tiendra? Parce que là, on est rentré dans le dernier tour.
On to the banking. Barton and Bowers battling for third and fourth, side by side. Bowers begins to defend. Barton now swings wide, will try the crossover coming through the pits S's. Bowers holds his position, but up front, Jayan Prakash. Yet another win, a perfect score. 3 out of 3 for Prakash. 150 points. Jules Tchek, by virtue of finishing in second place, takes second provisionally on the grid for the superheat. Bowers is third on the road and on the grid. Albert Farrow will start the pre-final in fourth. Alex Noah Moghabghab, the American driver, although he faded to 24th place, he still manages to maintain P5 with Chopra, Barton and Crawford rounding out the top 8 for the grid for the pre-final. On the race, Freddie Baker finishes 5th, Arlo Gamble 6th, Sebastian Crawford in 7th, Caden Hanley, Albert Farrow, Wraith Owen, your top 10. Samar Chopra 11th, Jensen Kelly. Bumps, bruises, scrapes, bandages and all after a non-karting scooter-related incident last night, finishes in the top 12. And that's the only time we're going to see the Micromaxes today. They'll be back tomorrow for their Superbeat. So let's have a quick look at the highlights as this morning's programme of racing comes to an end. Well, there we go. There are the highlights of this morning's last Micromax heat race. Eric, we're going to take a break here at the circuit. We'll be back live on air at about 1:20 local time. This morning's racing, you could tell that the energy level is rising. People are getting a little bit more desperate, maybe.
Oui, effectivement, c'est une matinée de vendredi qui a été vraiment intense. C'est vrai aussi que l'issue se rapproche, hein. On va connaître les pilotes qualifiés pour les supermanches et pour la grande finale. Donc forcément, il y a de l'intensité et il y a évidemment beaucoup de pression maintenant pour les pilotes qui sont encore en piste et qui espèrent décrocher leur place pour la finale.
Yes, now, the Micromax, the Minimax, the DD2s and the DD2 Masters, they have finished their heats for this year. At 20 past 1 local time, that is 20 past 12 in the UK, and 20 past 6 in the morning if you're watching, say, at the east coast of the United States, which I know you all will be. If you're a fan of junior and senior Rotax this afternoon, we have got you covered. 13 heat races to go, 4 heat races, 2 rounds of heats for all the juniors. Check this out, 9 senior Rotax heat races, every driver pretty much doing 2, some of them doing 3 races this afternoon. So, on behalf of Jen Wade, on behalf of Eric Tellis, on behalf of myself, we're back at 20 past 1 local time for the final 13 heat races of the 2026 Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy at Le Mans. See you then.